Hey, it's a Derp with Kurp. Wait, it should just be me full screen in the beginning of the Derp with Kurp, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Stan St. Germain. Nice. Hey, it's a Derp with Kurp. I'm sick. And I got a really good derp for you today, though, still, even though I'm sick. It probably is COVID. And no, I didn't get a booster. So I guess I'm going to die soon. So maybe tell a friend about the show. I got Dan St. Germain and Chloe LaBranche from News for Women. Dan St. Germain, of course, is a relative of the legendary Count St. Germain, the immortal alchemist.
Yeah, I'm here to
and so that's deep significance to have him here today. And then in a little bit, I got Dark Journalist coming on. Do you guys know who Dark Journalist is?
Yeah. You told me, but no, besides that, I did not know.
Because he's like dark matter. He's an unknown journalist.
Is he? Oh, is that the guy who wears the mat? He doesn't wear like the Antifa hoodie thing on his face, does he? Is that him?
He wears full Antifa. No.
There's one guy. I forget. There's one guy who's like that's his thing. He wears a fucking. He looks like he's in the underground every time.
Definitely doesn't shaman coin.
He doesn't sell shaman coin. He his channel's called Dark Journalist. He's got all the best stuff if you want to know about any of the UAP disclosure. UAP. UFO. Let's call them what they are, Dan.
Yeah.
Spaceman ships. If you want to know about spaceman ship disclosure.
It's not Latinx.
What'd you say?
It's not Latinx, bro. You know, it's Latina. That's the UAP of.
Oh, dude, everything's that make you into one of them big head gray fucking Greta Thunberg aliens with no genitals, just a gland of some kind. Anyway, he is his research is killer, and I would say it's like real tippy top, and he knows all the weird mystery school connections to this shit. And this is why I got Chloe here for this, is he knows all kinds of apparently stuff about Chloe's weird gothic old money family and their creepy ass witch history. So we're going to find out all about what kind of witch Chloe is. We're going to inspect her feet. If they look like Nikki Glazer's, you're going in the dunking stool. I can't get any more fair than that.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know if those are really Nikki's feet that somebody showed me. I don't think
Nikki's aren't bad. Does she have bad feet? I don't think she has bad feet.
Somebody told me, and then they showed me an internet picture, but it can't be. It can't be. I refuse to believe it. But wait,
good guy either way, you know.
Before he gets here, I was trashing Elephant Graveyard. So I've had 3 people tell me to watch that, and one, I hate when people use their like music video editing skill. Like, do you have a thing that you want to tell me about? Like, fucking tell me, dude. I hate your like hybrid rock complaining about the lineup of all what I can suss out, and I can't get through the video. But Ray-Ban's like, oh, it's hypnotic. Is it? It looks like I didn't get spots, and I'm mad. The video, and I think this guy went to try out for Kill Tony at some point, and it's like the end of the world because you got 2 factions of complaining about the Austin scene. First of all, if you care about the comedy scene, wherever you are go do improv, you fucking loser. Go do fucking improv. You
UCB is coming to Austin, they said, and they wrote a whole article how it's going to change the scene and take the scene.
The scene is you got the Creek and you got Joe's Club. There's your scene. What the and Moon Tower once a year used to be the scene. It's not now.
Last time I went was fun, but yeah, it's not.
It's just like I used to do it all the time, but and then so anyway, I don't know how Joe ruined comedy, but I think it's a bunch of people that honestly thought that Wendy Williams should be the president. That fucking dumb dude. Is everybody fucking retarded? Like, do people think that she was going to be in any way better than Trump? That's my first question.
Gotta say, she should be informed because when I went to her house, we watched the news.
I'm sorry, Kamala Harris.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't literally mean Wendy Williams. I was trying to degrade what could have been the first woman of color president. I was trying to degrade her.
Big Mike.
I guess I got a question because Ukraine would arguably be worse with her. Israel, I don't know. I don't know if it would be worse with her.
It would be the exact same thing. Yeah. This would be the same fucking thing. Why? Because Joe Biden, there's nobody who's like, we're going to tell Israel to knock off that genocide. There's nobody who is going to tell them that besides Superman in the Superman movie I watched last night.
There you go.
Yo, that's straight up about, dude. And I know the conflict hadn't erupted yet during production. Those people are trying to say it's not that. Because, ChatGPT. I don't want to say people. But did you see Superman?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I loved
kinda
it.
about. Do you think it's about like Elon type of stuff? That guy, or no?
No, Chloe.
Why not? The guy's a tech guy who wants the robots to take over because he's a dork.
That's not what that movie. Did you even watch Superman? You sound like a real loser right now.
I watched it at the theaters, and he has a dog named Crypto.
Yeah. Did you like the dog?
Yeah, is a rescue, but I don't like rescues. I like I would get a dog from a breeder. So
Kurp for Congress. That's a great comment. Oh, don't make me laugh. I'm sick. Anyway, I watched it last night and I liked it a lot. It's the opening is kind of jarring. The Superman, dude, it's like it starts out with like a crawl.
I was really nervous about the opening because they tell you like the first 2 years of the movie, like right up top, and you're
like, that's not good. That's not a good thing to do.
Yeah,
and
like,
some of the edits seemed like it was longer.
It kind of worked. I mean, I didn't need to see all the shit that you told me. You know?
I started laughing at Mr. Terrific was awesome the whole time. Mr. Terrific. The bird bitch, I like the bird bitch that kills Netanyahu at the end. I liked her.
I love his girlfriend.
Last of Us. That girl's from Last
What?
of Us.
That's James Gunn's girlfriend?
What? No, that girl was hilarious. I said I loved that girlfriend.
Wait, Lois Lane?
No, the girlfriend of the bad guy.
Oh yeah, she was good.
She was hilarious.
Yes. And that was the first time I heard like insulting a woman's foot joke. It looked like somebody spilled a shrimp cocktail on the floor, her toes. That's pretty funny. Like Jimmy Olsen just, I guess, crushes a lot of pussy. I didn't know that was going to be. Is that from the comics?
I mean, he just like fucking looks like every fucking playa from Hebrew school that I've ever seen in my entire life, you know?
He did have a Hebrew school playa look to him.
Yeah,
I do. Like a young Epstein in a way. If you look at
which I think that's the show that you should be selling. Young Epstein, Adventures of Young Epstein.
Okay, dude. I think the guy's name is Coop, C-O-O-P. I don't think it's co-op. I think it's Coop. But he had a great thing. I think this is his of Epstein at that camp he went to as a boy that Bill Barr also went to. And they claimed Bill Barr was not at the camp at the same time, but they're in the picture together. And the guy couldn't, you know how Bill Barr, that fat face he has?
Yeah.
It's a kid that looks like if you were making a cartoon called Young Bill Barr and Epstein, it would be that face you drew. And then, Camp Interlochen? Really, Mark? INT?
Yeah, they pronounce it Interlochen, but that pop star that all the young chicks like, Chapel Roan, went there too, and Epstein helped get her in there.
Epstein got Chapel Roan, the woman who dresses like a drag queen.
As a child, he got her in.
Oh.
It was his neck. You don't go to see him as an
Yeah.
What the shit? Anyway. That'd be a good camp. Like a Stand By Me with Epstein and Bill Barr. I guess Chapel Roan. They got to find a body in the woods and rebury it because they're going to be putting in condos. So they got to move the body. I don't know. I'll workshop it. Anyway, that girlfriend, Mrs. What's her name? What's Lex Luthor's girlfriend's name? Mrs. Tiddlywinks?
Yeah, something like Patty, Patsy, or
I'll find out.
I don't know.
It was the same one that they did in the old Superman that was like, ew, Jewel went to Interlochen?
Jesus. I'm looking up the school right now.
Yeah.
This Interlochen was the school that, how was Epstein connected to it again? Yeah, I know he went there as a kid, but how was he still connected?
What? Bill Barr or what?
Yeah, no, I know how he's connected to Bill Barr.
Because he looked like a young Jimmy Olsen.
No, yeah.
That's why. He looked like he was like, you could tell he was one of them pussy getting Hebrew school kids. Groomer Locken. That's a great.
Oh, the girl's name is Eve Teschemacher.
I bet it is. Anyway. Ow. So.
Eve Telemarker, because she won't stop calling that guy.
Oh my God. Save it for the news for women.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So last night I watched Superman. So it was pretty funny. I like and I liked Guy Gardner and shit, right?
Yeah, he's good.
He was funny. And then the weird baby that Superman. Am I spoiling it?
Yeah, the baby.
I'm gonna save my CGI baby, Superman.
I felt like it was kind of selfish that they were gonna save their baby.
Why?
like for instead of the whole world.
It's Fantastic Four you're talking about?
What are you talking about?
Oh, that's the wrong movie. Sorry.
Fantastic
Sorry.
Four
Wow.
it sucks because it's like
Wow.
Superman.
There was no comedy in it.
Yeah.
Also, they just lifted from The Boys the comic book The Boys, the noir guy. You know, in the show, I guess he's a black guy under the suit who's allergic to Snickers or something. But in the comic, he was a clone of the evil Superman in the comic The Boys, and he literally had the same suit. So he took that thing from The Boys. It looked like to me. You know what I'm talking about? Dan?
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
Homelander. There's like a second Homelander in The Boys.
Yeah, and he did all the bad shit.
I thought it was like he didn't kind of like that was the one thing where he didn't. It didn't seem like he wanted to make a decision either way. So I was kind of like, what is this guy supposed to be? Is it Bizarro? What's going on?
It's like a setup that he'll be Bizarro because he went in a black Bizarro hole.
Yeah,
that's how I took it.
I think it's probably he'll be back as Bizarro.
So I heard people say this was him getting involved in the Israeli invasion of Iran or whatever at the time when it came out, and I was like, is it? I don't know. And then I watch it, and okay. I just want to say Moravia. My girlfriend's like, well, they speak in Russian. I go, okay, but Russia's not an ally of us. Russia's not an ally that our oligarchs have a deep relationship with. And also, Russia's not invading Persia, Jamanpur. That is some. Also, they had Palestinian colored flags.
Also, they look Palestinian.
Also, they look like Arabs.
There's a lot of.
And then it's like, yeah, but because I feel like the joke is this. They go, clearly they're not. They're like Eastern European and not Israeli. You mean like the Israelis mostly? They're Eastern Europeans? Not. Yeah, I get the joke. That's what that was. And then if you hadn't needed any convincing, the president of Moravia, they got Professor Irwin Corey from back in. They got somebody out from Mel Brooks movie. Like, I need the Jewy looking mad scientist Jew look. It looked like when what's his name? Who played Uncle Dracula on the Addams Family, you know, or the Munsters? Grandpa from the Munsters. It looked like Grandpa for the Munsters when he would go on Stern. And he crazy.
He had a very like Doc Brown, but like Doc only studied like phrenology and fucking like just real eugenics.
I mean, it looked like the inside of Bibi Netanyahu. His insides is what that guy looked like. Let's face facts with that one. And yeah, that made me laugh a lot because I was like, the conflict had not started yet. There was no Top Gun Maverick shot for shot bombing of Iran yet. Okay. But guess what? Israel's always a fucking problem. And what do you like? If you just found out it's a problem now, like me, then okay. But I'm guessing he slipped that in. Even if he didn't intend to, it's still Israel. Even if he didn't intend to, because what he was trying to do is like, oh, it's some country that's our ally, but Superman stops them from doing something bad. Maybe it was about Yemen.
I mean, they put the Eastern European to cover their ass, but it was clearly about Israel. You know,
well,
like, clearly.
Bibi's real name is fucking Milkowski.
But that's what they're gonna, that's what they're gonna use. You know what I mean? They're gonna be like, no, he's Ukrainian. Look, he looks more Latvian. You know,
good. I have to say, I really love that part where a Puerto Rican drops Netanyahu and then cuts to an egg cracking. It's clearly what it was. If Ben Shapiro said that and anybody laughed at him, he sensed what it was. It is that. I give the movie points for that. For the shitty beginning. I didn't like the open.
Did you see the photo of Shapiro after he saw it? It's just him in front of the poster going.
Is it?
Yeah,
that's like when he burned Barbies after Barbenheimer came.
Yeah, you got to see this. It's the corniest fucking thing. This picture's so corny.
I feel like Ben Shapiro's yarmulke is too big, and this is just an aesthetic comment, but
it is.
I pointed out, and she's right. That's a big. What are you, Tim Pool? It looks like he's wearing a Tim Pool beanie as a yarmulke. I said Tim Pool's beanie is a yarmulke. I think. Chloe.
It's weird.
Do you see how bored Chloe is? Because she doesn't care about Superman, even though she went to both movies. Why?
Because he's hot.
How are you going to meet a man if you don't like Superman? Come on.
I just pretend to like World of Warcraft and stuff.
No, that's good.
You, Chloe, Did you
What?
pretend to like World of Warcraft?
I was like, they call it WoW for a reason.
You
This is
fucking
amazing.
bitch. Now, Chloe.
My boyfriend was telling me I was trying to break up with him because like I like that, but I didn't break up with him because he's all I have. But I was like, I think we should break up, and he was like, no, I was actually gonna propose. I go, no, you weren't. He goes, yeah, I've even found a ring, and I go, what's the ring? He goes, well, it comes with a free PS5.
So he got a PS5.
That was the thing. He never got it, but that was the plan. And I was like,
Okay, wait. I'm sorry. I'm sorry a minute. Okay. So, how old is your boyfriend, Chloe?
young. He's not a baby though.
It sounds like the kind of thing a middle school kid would come up with.
He's 27.
No, I'm telling you, it's
27
free
and a half.
engagement rings and they come with the PS.
Like, I think it's illegal to have sex with this guy. That's
He's 27 and a half. I'm breaking.
Oh my God.
Breaking the
Hold on.
glass
I-
ceiling.
Chloe, I have a ring for you, but you got to go to the bottom of this Fruit Loops box, and then it'll.
That would have been better.
No, you have to beat all the levels of GoldenEye, and then you get.
Okay.
The ring.
Well, GoldenEye is an old person game. Wait.
I'm
want-
old.
So he said he got you an engagement ring.
No,
Okay,
he didn't
wait.
get it. I tried to break up with him, and he said, "But I was actually gonna." I was like, "You can't even commit your child," and he's not a baby, but right, we established that.
Yeah, 27 is you can't commit.
This is how
I was engaged at 27. What, do you think I committed? I didn't. I got a PlayStation 5 actually.
Do you ever FaceTime a baby, and they go like this, and you look up their nose?
No.
No.
Okay.
How old are you? Okay, wait. So
I don't want to talk about it.
I know. That's right. Listen,
What do
I'm
I
a
weigh?
big Nick Fuentes guy, and women are worthless after 15. Is I believe is the
I
current.
weigh one. We could talk about. I weigh 110.
That's actually how much Nick Fuentes weighs too.
Really?
You weigh the same.
It's the same as Nick Fuentes. He's for sure gay, right? We all know that guy's a gay guy.
No, come on.
Come on, everybody's a
You're
little.
telling me the cat boy.
Lindsey Graham just haven't found the right one yet. You're
Tell
right.
me the future of the white online race is a gaming. I don't believe you. Okay, he's out there making points, going on shows, telling Candace Owens what's what. Okay, sorry, I got this. Your boyfriend, I know he didn't have the ring. I just want to understand the story you told. Your boyfriend, he said I was going to propose, and I got you a ring.
No,
And
he
what is
said
this fake story?
it's real. He was on the road in Phoenix, and he was at the mall.
Okay.
And he passed a store like a Zales or something, and they had a deal on the window that if you buy an engagement ring for $1,800, you get a free PS5 with it. And he didn't do it, but he told me about the deal because I pressured him into saying
this. We can verify if Zales has ever had this deal, can't we?
I don't know if it's Zales. I'll just Google it in general.
I'm not sure if it's Zales. You know.
It does sound like creative marketing for engagement rings. Like, what if I want to propose to my PS5? What if sounds like a real Arizona style deal? But yes, it does sound like very Arizona.
Yeah, you're married.
It's a real
to
Pawn Stars. What'd you say?
Okay, so listen to this. I got it.
Finalized yet?
A jewelry store called Hellsberg offered a PlayStation 5 console to customers who spent at least $1,700 on jewelry, such as an engagement ring, for a limited time during the holiday season in late 2024. And he did say this to me in November. So it's 2024.
Add by that, did it come with an?
It's Hellsberg.
With an Arizona iced tea also.
A what?
That's what Mark asked. Arizona will it's a real, like I said, it's a pawn shop kind of place.
It came with a cum rag too.
I thought the engagement rings for the cum rag. Oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah.
So it's
America
still a
first,
possibility.
bitch.
What?
For him to get this PS5, it's still a possibility. You think?
So wait, is it going to work out with the PS5? Finish the story.
I don't know. It feels like it's going to end up just being a one-player game.
It's so sad.
I'm gonna cough. All right, so
Love is sad and beautiful.
Did you have a joke about your boyfriend takes baths?
Yeah. Well, it was serious because I told it to Sam J, and she said no.
Yeah,
Sam J said that I was kind of saying he's a pussy, and I love him. Don't worry, I do love him. And I was saying how my boyfriend, she was saying, you need to get a man who will like kill for you. And I was like, I don't know if my boyfriend takes baths. So.
Would Sam J kill for a chick?
I was like, I don't think my boyfriend's killing anyone.
Alicia never had Punk, not Punk. I like Punky. Snoop. I'm sorry, I'm mixing up my AG lesbian names. They should never had Snoop from The Wire. That launched 1,000 aggressives. AGs, they call them. They used to call them in the village. It's like, okay, I get you're like a dude, but now you're just a dude that I know has the smallest cock in the world, which is in fact a vagina. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Bitch, your dick's so small it's inside out. Like, why are you even trying to approach me on a masculine level? What are you joking?
Taking a tub, that's a beta move.
Yeah, well, he takes a bath, so I do a joke now that I'm like,
beta then.
Say like I'm like,
well, do you clean your tub? That's really what the beta thing is, that you have maintain a hygienic enough tub to take baths.
Yeah,
that's what the really beta part is, Dan. But that is a secret of immortality too.
Towel and I scrub the hair up. Does that count?
I don't know, dude. I just I haven't lived in a place where I want to just sit in a bath for like years.
I can't see you with candles.
You have candles too?
What do you take? Wait, hold on. You taking candle baths?
Keyboard too?
I have not multiple candles. I had one candle.
Candle bath was one of my bands in college. We were Christian.
Man, there's a reason middle-aged women like to do it. You know
why? Because they're witches.
Yeah, they're witches.
We're about to find out. Do you have a Ouija board, Dan?
Once you had an abortion, that's a deal with the devils, and now you're basically a witch. You might as well light candles.
I never had an abortion.
While you bathe your whore pussy. Oh man, I can't wait for dark journalists to get in on this conversation. Yeah, so because Chloe, this is the thing that's wild, is Chloe's now what's the story you do know, Chloe, about what is this relative to you in Louisiana?
I don't even know how, maybe like the early 1800s or late 1700s. Her name was Mrs. LaBranche, and her husband was a wealthy sugar planter, if you will. And they lived in New Orleans, and she found out her husband was having an affair. So she invited his mistress over for tea, and she roofied.
The husband was dead, though, right?
I don't really know. And she roofied the mistress and then chained the mistress up in the attic until the mistress died. And now they say the ghost of the mistress is haunting this house.
I thought she was much rather starve in the attic.
It's this really famous house in New Orleans. If you've been there, you've seen it. It's on Royal Street. It's called the LaBranche House, and it was like the first one to have like the railings. You would have seen it probably if you've been in New Orleans.
Wait. Didn't she leave her there to starve, and then she'd just be downstairs eating dinner?
Yeah, she's just downstairs chilling, and she just chained her up there to have her die up there. Yeah, that's where I get it.
Wow.
I mean, what?
How many years ago was that?
That's where you get a boyfriend with a PlayStation. Yeah, because that's not just some like regular murder shit. That's like you want to negatively charge your house with a slow death of a bitch. I thought you told me this. Her husband was already dead, so there's not even a reason to do this.
I don't really know. We'll have to ask the dark journalist.
He must have been. Well, because he'd be like, "Where the fuck's my mistress?"
And then also on one of the plantations, they have so random. They have Hitler's favorite horse. Someone is buying it in the family just as like a fuck you, I guess.
Wait, what was his name?
The horse? I don't know. And the horse is buried there, and then so is Zachary Taylor's bathtub.
It better not be Black Beauty, because what?
It's very random.
That's the Seabiscuit origin story.
It was kind of like a fuck you, Hitler, we're taking your favorite horse. Imagine they had to take it all the way from Germany, though, to New Orleans.
If I know Hitler, he would have been like, just make sure it has a good home. He loved animals. Now, there's one thing you got to give Hitler.
He shot his dogs because they were, or didn't we shoot his dogs because they're spies? Yeah, that house.
Okay, let's just keep one crazy story at a time. That looks like a beautiful house.
It's really famous in New Orleans. It's if you've probably seen it.
If I had to pick a house to be chained up in by a crazy bitch and die in, I mean, that's the one. What have you? My goodness.
Yeah, it's a better living situation than I have now, honestly. So,
she's having some dirty New Orleans rice and beans in the downstairs. Like, She's just having some crawdads and
She was just fucking chilling.
yeah, that's like witch stuff. That's what that is. You got
She's-
witch blood.
She's a sugar planter, y'all.
Look, if you saw an interview with a gay vampire, that's basically the story of the main Brad Pitt vampire.
That's a good movie.
Well, it was a great movie. Hey, Mark, where is Dark Journalist?
On AMC's great too.
I could ask him to join early. I thought you wanted him to join later in the show. Let me email.
Well, it's I guess it's 2:30. I think is when he joins now. I want to know more about Chloe.
Is this
From,
gonna haunt me literally if we talk about this?
I don't know, Chloe. I don't know your family's heraldry
Yeah, I
and
don't
curses and shit. I'm sure it goes back a long way. I'm sure it's really dark, and I'm sure, you know, you have the genetics of lizard people. I would guess. I
No,
mean,
I
let's.
I'm not, I never. I asked my dad, "Do you know any lizard people?" And he said, "What are you even talking about?"
Oh, that's very suspicious how he said that.
He said,
Though.
"What?" You know, my dad said, "What is a lizard person?" That's what he actually said.
Your dad never even heard of that.
No, he's never heard of it. And then he said, "I gotta go."
Did he blink too much, or did he blink?
Did you
not?
say,
So I called him because Kurt told me I was a lizard person. So I was like, "Dad, hello."
okay, and you're telling me that your dad reacted much like a lizard after laying eggs? Like,
I don't even know what a lizard person is.
He was so pissed off he went to his
I was
favorite
hoping
sun
you
rock.
knew. Your dad was like, "Listen, we're basically a race of like ancient sea turtle dragons, and I laid this egg, and I can't be on the phone with you all the time. You got to grow a shell."
And then I have another relative.
The definition of Jews keeps stretching. Still, why? Just because I'm Jewish? Just
No.
because my mom was bitten by a Jew when I was born, and I consider that makes me Jewish. It doesn't keep stretching. I think it's like Dan, you don't know anything about Jews, do you?
I mean, all I know is about this comp, but as far as the actual like the religion, I mean, all I know is Old Testament from fucking.
I've been to a lot of
Well, it's like 30 different things. It turns out, like different
Yeah.
sects and hats. There's a
I
lot of different hats. You got your Orthodox, your ultra Orthodox, which is like the final form.
Well, no, they have the
That's the
different.
super shredder of Jews.
No, and they all hate each other. The different ones. They all.
Well,
think,
I think ultra Orthodox, and any Jews out there, please correct me if I'm wrong on this, Talmudically speaking, but I think the name ultra Orthodox came from Zionist Orthodox to make them seem like extremists for not supporting the nation of Israel. And because there's a bunch of the ones in the religion are like, this is like blasphemy that you did this. You know how Israel's very supposedly gay friendly. Yeah. You know how they always say that's the friendly one to gays, Israel, and I assure you it's not. I assure you it's not like that. I don't know
I don't
what
think
the fuck.
that's real at all.
But that's grounds for God to
So, like,
kill
a
all of
better-
Israel if they're cool
than-
gays, just so you know, in their own book. So those other Jews are not into that.
Well, there are better. I mean, not that this justifies the genocide, but they are better than like Jordan, right? You would say,
I don't fucking no, I wouldn't say that. Well, who's they? The nation of Israel, the current one? No, it's fucked. It's fucked.
I mean,
It's a South
Bad
Africa.
as like a Jordan or something like that. As far as I'm just talking gay.
As far as killing
I'm not talking
Americans,
total, I'm talking-
much worse.
Yeah.
In terms of killed Americans, worse than Iran.
Well,
in
no, I'm
terms
not
of-
talking about that. I'm just talking specifically about the gay thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that,
Well, I support them on the gay thing of pretending to be cool with gays.
we all pretend to be cool with gays, so it's fine.
But you know what? That's the wrong way to do it.
Like,
No, it's not the way to do it at all. That's not the way to do it. I don't know,
Stop it.
but Genghis Khan supported paid paternity leave. It doesn't really like.
Say that again.
I said, I don't know if you guys knew this. Genghis Khan supported paid paternity leave. It's like you can't like.
He did.
No, but I'm just saying, it's fucking. That's not going to erase all the other shit, guys. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, okay. He had one.
Well, I think that was to combat. That was to go. Here's where liberals are the worst thing that has ever existed on their side is and I don't even know. I think these are like fake movements that start and people just join them and think they're real. Like BLM and shit. Remember BLM? All the money went to one fat bitch, and I don't even think she shared it with Hamas like she promised. By the way, I think she just bought herself a house. Remember how BLM was a scam and every dumb shit? Not me, but
It's
every
all
other dumb
scam.
shit I know went along with it. Like, oh fucking moron, right?
It was actually, it wasn't Hamas stealing the aid. It was actually Black Lives Matter stealing the aid.
Yeah,
well, it all goes from one thing from another. It was like the Me Too, and then it came BLM, and then it became.
It was all bullshit. Every single thing, every dumb shit comic, you know. This is what bugs me about. Like, first of all,
Brooklyn.
Some of these people are my friends, and they're mad at Rogan, not because they think it's because he's not a good comic. Is that really why you're mad at him? Because I've seen you welcome Nanette fuckface. So don't try to make it about comedy quality, assholes. Number one. Number two, Rogan is not the reason that Joe Biden lost the election. Joe Biden lost the election because unless you're a complete or not Biden, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was worse than Joe Biden, who had soup for brains. Did everybody just act like he was fine? I watch people do it. I go, do you think that's fine? Where he's just like saying nonsense. Me and Dunnigan made a whole series. I could write Biden gibberish all day. That's my favorite thing to write. SNL had nothing about Biden the whole time. They had the worst. They literally did a propaganda making him grandpa. I've never seen anything like this. Okay. Then to make me think that I should give a fuck if the first woman of color is president. If I was a woman of color, I would feel insulted that you would think I would give a fucking shit about that. What am I, 5?
Yeah.
Explain to me how that would be helpful on any level. The president they don't look like you. They look like a different person. You mean they have the same race as you? The fuck is anyone talking about?
I mean, that's dudes for Kamala is like the worst thing. And I fucking, I did vote for her, but I wasn't like proud of it. You know what I mean? It was like, pick your poison.
I'm not talking about that. Okay. Because first of all, I don't vote or believe in America because I'm not cattle, but I know that people do. And they're like, well, I guess I got to pick the Sophie's choice of whoever's the
I don't
least
even know
bad.
if I do anymore, by the way. So,
why do you live here? If there's
born here.
But if you don't believe in it, is there a place you'd rather live that you would care about who's in office?
Here, let me tell you Barry Crimin's great joke to that dumb shit that just came out of your fucking lizard mouth. I don't want to be a victim of America's foreign policy, so no, I don't want to move.
Okay.
Hey, why didn't you leave? Because I don't want to be killed by America, a country they bombed for no reason. Barry said that, and it's the greatest thing to say back to it. Because there's a reason people don't like America. There's a reason for that. I mean, is it dawning on everybody why? No, of course not. Because Chloe, because you have the blood of the dragon, okay? Because you have that ancient cold dragon blood.
Hell yeah.
And also, would you take Lexapro or something? Also that.
Love.
Dude, Dan, do you think Buddhism is just like if Lexapro was a religion?
They both, I mean, Lexapro and Buddhism have made me the same level of happy, so perhaps.
Yeah,
I went to India for school to study Buddhism, and I was like highly addicted to Adderall. So we were going to all these Buddhist temples, and I was on so much fucking Adderall, and they were making us meditate. It was really not Buddhist. I was like looking around. Like,
you went to a silent retreat addicted to amphetamines.
I was in all these in Nepal and shit, like whatever, where we were in like the Darjeeling and Buddhist temples, like trying to meditate, and I was like. So much Adderall, I was like, somebody needs to clean this place.
I fully support what you did, Chloe. I fully support that.
That's amazing. You just turn every place rehab. It doesn't matter where it is. It's rehab. Party City becomes rehab with Chloe.
You're like if Anthony Bourdain was not a chef at all.
Am I gonna kill myself?
Traveling the world.
You're just Anthony Bourdain without the passion.
Also, wasn't eating because I was on Adderall. So,
well, that's part of it, right? You're supposed to not eat, not the Adderall. I mean the boot, whatever the hell. Why did you go there? How did you go there?
Because we just went for we had January term off in college. And we went for a month to study like Buddhism, Hinduism, and Jainism. So we traveled around.
Who did?
Me.
What do you mean? Oh, but with who?
Like why? College. I was on a program, like a study abroad for a month.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they had you study Buddhism?
Yeah, we went to all the temples to like pray and like talk to monks, but I was on so much fucking Adderall, so it was really stressful.
What school is this?
I went to Marymount Manhattan College in New York City.
So my sister went.
It's a tiny little school.
Is she a Buddhist now too?
Who went there?
Dan St. Germain's sister.
Yeah.
Is she is?
No, she's not a Buddhist. I don't know what she is. We're not totally talking right now.
Who went there?
My mom's death.
Dan St. Germain's sister.
But she is. I think she's agnostic. Dating a woman. That's all I know, really.
No, it's not
a Buddhist. An agnostic.
It's just like a program you could choose.
It's pretty tough to be an American and a Buddhist. I think it's very tough.
Well, all these fucking people from the mothership, the door guys, are going on 12-day silent retreats, and then they come back and they just start saying faggot and retard on stage. What'd you learn?
It sounds like they learned the truth about silent retreats, is what it sounds like to me.
They're at the silent retreat and trying not to talk, and they're like, fuck. And then finally, when they're free, it comes out.
All right. Are we completely demonetized now, Mark? I have to take a leak. But when I come back, will the Dark Journal be here? Because I want to find out. Because Dan St. Germain, I don't know if you know about the Count St. Germain, right?
Oh, I know about.
Dan?
I know. I mean, I know a little bit about being a nobleman and how close he was to royalty. But I don't.
Dude, you just gotta drink your pee and you'll be immortal. I'm gonna spoiler alert it. You gotta start drinking your own pee every morning.
Well, then I won't be dying anytime soon, boys.
That's the Philosopher's Stone that Harry Potter had to find in that book. The true Philosopher's Stone is cooking your urine down into a nice nugget. What?
I did have a guest on my show recently that claims to be a descendant of the real Saint Germain, and there's a triangular manuscript that he decoded and republished, and it was passed down through his family. And there's some veracity to the fact that one Saint Germain existed, but this
Emu Count Saint Germain, I guess. I don't know. I have not felt noble blood inside me, but maybe I'm wrong.
Not once.
Not once.
Meghan Markle knows how to get that noble.
I should fucking.
You never get noble fluids inside.
That does sound like Kurt, you made a good joke about that, but I think that's something billionaires do secretly.
They do it openly. There's a guy.
Fusions, yeah.
Dude, they're doing it openly. You know the guy that's doing see if I can find him. The guy's drinking has his son's blood put in him.
With the quote unquote healthiest guy of all time or whatever.
Yeah, he looks like a vampire. He looks exactly like a vampire. Hold on, let me get his dumb fucking.
Your comments are, I can't believe you voted for Kamala. I'm like, Kurt also. I mean, like, Trump also hasn't been good, guys. I am not saying Kamala is great.
No. Here's what should happen, dude. Everybody now should know that the whole thing is fake, and you should stop believing in it, or you're dumb.
Yeah, it's fake.
And you know what? More people than ever know just that. Hold on, I'm just getting you this weird vampire guy because I was exposed to a terrible photo of him. Hold on, Brian Johnson, dad and son. Oh, this is really brutal, dude. Come on. Okay. Let me share the screen. Can you guys see it?
Look
at so there's the guy.
Yeah.
There he is with his son. Okay. This part. Look at this.
What is going on here?
Yeah. Look at this. There's the dad and the son. He's holding his son's belly. Now here they are. The dad's in bootcut jeans, barefoot.
It's so weird, man. Like, it's weirder if they're not fucking. You know what I mean? Like, it's weirder if they haven't had sex.
Well, they're already sharing so much blood.
Yeah.
Oh my dear God.
It's wild. I can't believe that guy's not a Scientologist, by the way. He has like Scientology written all over him.
Scientology is all about that. Everybody know. Look, I'm gonna get Aaron on from that show. You ever watch the Aaron Scientology show?
No.
His name's Aaron, but he's
I haven't watched any Scientology shows. I mean, I've watched the Louis Theroux thing and the Alex Gibney thing.
Dude, Louis Theroux, I hate him. I
You
hate
didn't like.
movies,
You don't
man.
like. You didn't like the Settlers is pretty good.
The what?
The last stuff
Yeah,
he did was pretty good.
hey, that's great. The Settlers one, but I just don't like him. I think he's a goddamn phony. I think he's the worst kind of fucking phony. And then I watch him talking about Jimmy Savile after the fact, where he's like making the same excuses as the other dipshits make about Epstein, where I was like, I'm sure it's just the one guy was the problem. So he goes, well, how do you get next to Prince Charles? And he's like, well, if you do a lot of charity, that's a good way to get next to him. I'm sure King Charles, the professed descendant of Dracula and Muhammad King David, doesn't have his men checking into every facet of Jimmy Savile. I'm sure that MI5, who was even more evil than the CIA by a lot. I mean, they're practically. Can you find the painting of the new king? Tell me he's not trying to be the ghost guy. Oh, Vigo. He does look like Vigo. You've seen that, right?
He has resting Vigo face.
Well, first of all these people in the UK are mad, and I don't blame them, because that grooming gang thing is real. They Keir Starmer, that big pasty headed call boy enjoyer, said, well, we did mass migration, it didn't work. Like, in America's, as far as I understood, was like a melting pot, was what I always heard as a kid. So I get the thing of like,
they had to melt another color first. They had to do some melting before the melting pot started.
No, but it is a melting pot. Never mind all that. It's just the natural thing of people being around each other.
Oh no, yeah.
You call cultural appropriation now if you're the dumbest bitch in the world, and you use that word, cultural appropriation, which only a millennial and lower would say something that's stupid. If you're an older person saying it, it means you're trying to bang someone younger than you. That's all. That's the best I could do to be charitable to your brain. If you say the word culture,
like, look at a bar menu, dude. Look at an American menu. It's all a bunch of people came here. It's all
put that comment back, dude. Melting frog pot.
Yeah, melting frog.
Yeah, I got that at Cracker Barrel recently. The melting frog pot. You got that? They took the honky off.
I've eaten Cracker Barrel. The last 2 times I've eaten there, I've eaten alone, and that's not a place to eat alone, man.
Because it used to be, it looked like the inside of the Unabomber shack.
Yeah.
And when you finish, hit the do I have to hit the like? It looked like a nice Unabomber shack where you could have an omelet and then make a statement with the objects on the walls.
Dude,
that's what I appreciate.
In DC,
I'm not necessarily gonna, but I like the option that I could boomer up some kind of explosive from the walls.
Did you see that they had it in DC? They had the actual cabin. I went to go see it, and we actually had on our show the guy who caught him, Jim Fitzgerald, but he was telling me that Cash Patel was going to change the culture of the FBI. Turns out,
wait, go back. Oh, the Unabomber. Oh, Unabomber. Okay. I'm talking about Cracker Barrel. So Cracker Barrel, they took the white guy off. So I first took it as revenge for Sydney Sweeney's sweet white titties. Right? That was a shot across the bow to say white titties are back.
Oh, the noble milk.
Yeah, well, because it's a jeans commercial, dude, and it wasn't ass. Oh, dark journal in 3 minutes. That's a jeans commercial. When she goes, my eyes are blue, jeans. It was like one of the most clever commercials I've ever seen. And then it scans up to her tits. But these are jeans. This would traditionally be an ass-focused thing, would it not?
So
they put a jean jacket on her and make her tits into ass.
You think the whole eugenics thing, that's just like, like almost a black flag for the real fucking fight that's happening, and that's ass versus titty people.
It's all eugenics. The whole earth is a eugenics Gaza of some kind, maybe a little bit of Guam mixed in. That's what the earth is. Why do we have the Olympics? I asked this to Scott Horton because he's like, Scott doesn't think when we talk about mystery schools or dark journals, Scott don't look into this, even though he could talk for 10 hours straight to Lex Friedman.
He could.
But I'm still trying to get my head around that, dude.
I'm doing it
because I know Scott wasn't on drugs, and I don't know Lex Friedman. I think is an AGI chatbot.
Dude, imagine you're Scott Horton for 20 years. Everybody's been telling you you're un-American, you're wrong, and then the last year, everyone realizes you're right. So I guess he probably can't. It's the first time people are actually listening to him without actually calling him an asshole.
No, I can imagine that, and then imagine that, and you still think 9/11 was an outside job, and you're like, no, there was no skullduggery. That one. And you're Scott Horton, you believe the Oklahoma City bombing was fishy as hell. But you think 9/11 was just what they say it is. I'm gonna have him on because I gotta figure this out. Because his book on Ukraine is excellent. He gave it to me. I'm reading it.
You got to get to ground zero, Kurt.
What?
You have to get to ground zero on this.
What the hell does that even mean?
9/11.
You weren't there.
I was there. My dad was there.
You weren't there. Come on.
My dad was there.
Your dad was called out. Your
What?
dad probably got the call to leave.
No, he was actually supposed to have a meeting at Windows of the World that morning at 9 a.m. with his. Are you making fun of me with your face? At 9
Your dad
a.m.
was supposed to be in Windows on the World at 9 a.m.
That's the restaurant at the top of the.
I know. Go on.
And then with this whole company, and then Cannon Fitzgerald, the company that all died, the guy called him and said, "Hey, can we switch and take your spot?" And my dad said, "Okay." And then that whole company died. And then when the buildings were falling, they like started leaving because my dad's office was like right near it, and my dad had to run from it. And he said it was like this huge dark cloud coming at you from behind, and they were just running into like the dark and stuff, and they couldn't see it. And then like there was no cell service, and my dad was like covered in ash and had to walk like for like 30, I don't know, a super long time. And then my mom and stuff didn't, no one knew.
Did you see Jay Gomez rollerblading away?
Yeah.
Him and your dad and Mark Wahlberg are in on it. Now, I haven't heard about Mark Wahlberg, but Wahlberg?
No, Steve Rannazzisi worked for Cannon Fitzgerald. Got out.
Hey, what's up, man?
Kurt,
oh my God!
It's great to see you, sir.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that looks great. I feel like I need to put on a coat now or something.
So this is Daniel List, aka Jog Journalist. This is Dan, Count Saint Germain.
Count Saint Germain, thank you.
Okay, we don't know about the links to that yet. This is Chloe LaBranche, who was telling us the story of the famous LaBranche house.
Yes, Chloe's show. I love your News for Women show. That's fantastic. It's hilarious.
By the way, Daniel has sent me many messages about enjoying News for Women. I appreciate that a woman could get it, and I think. By the way, Chloe, what did you base that on again? The Skim.
The Skim.
So, dude,
and
it made me laugh when.
The Skim sent me an email.
Yeah, it's an email newsletter of News for Women. Like, so she's making fun of the Skim, and they skim the news for women.
And they make like funny titles. So I was doing a stand-up joke about like, you heard of the Skim, like it makes the news so women, it breaks it down because we wouldn't have time between like our naps and abortions. And I said, it says funny things like, do you know who needs a pedicure? Syria. And then someone sent News for Women, saw the joke online, and then I got
Skim did.
Whatever, the Skim got it, and then I got an email from someone at the Skim being like, how dare you, Michelle Obama reads the Skim, and they started like listing men, we don't do things like this. And then I just emailed them back a bunch of their headlines, and that's it.
Yeah, by the way, Michelle Obama has a cock. Did you tell them that? Checkmate, Skim. I thought it was for women. All right, wait, I gotta I'll be right back, okay? But Dan, just tell Daniel your family history, because I'm pretty sure that you're connected to that guy who drinks his pee and lives forever. Am I getting that story wrong, Daniel?
Are you?
How Saint Germain learned to drink pee?
Are you related to Saint Germain?
I don't know. I do know, and Kurt's going to freak out about this. He went to go piss, but I do know that we are Cotton Mather is a descendant.
Oh, interesting.
So like right in the beginning.
Do you come up here to Salem and hang out and get the history at all?
I'm living in Stamford right now with my wife.
Oh, yeah.
So we're right here. And it's
very, very close.
But yeah, I would love to, know what, if I'm connected to, Count Saint Germain. But that is pretty crazy that, if I am connected to both of those two, that's pretty nuts. Actually.
Well, here's what's interesting about Saint Germain is documented, so there's a lot of characters, they just show up, they mythologize them, but Saint Germain has a documented history. The problem is the documented history runs through centuries. So it's either the same guy as a mystic reappearing and able to do that, which is a mystery school adept, he can do that, or somebody takes on the guise every century or so of Saint Germain, who is designated to do it, kind of like the Dalai Lama comes back over and over again. So he's a very powerful character in all of that. cosmology. There's no question about it.
Well, would he come back? I mean, is it like if that idea? I mean, if he came back, would he come? I guess he would come back as a Saint Germain, right? Or would he just come back as Metzger or LaBranche? You know.
Well, LaBranche, he had some things to do with LaBranche.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Soulmates.
Well, they did.
I knew it.
That's your family back there, and the whole sugar plantation part. They got him mixed up with the LaBranche family, and they thought he was a vampire because they were like, "Wait a minute, he's been around 150 years, and he's showing up here walking the streets of New Orleans." That's where a lot of the Vampire Lestat and Rice books come from.
It's directly connected to Germain.
LaBranche
is. Dude, I didn't know any of this. I'm writing.
This is per chance I got Dan Saint Germain on at the same time. Completely, by the way.
Whenever you get that name going, you don't know where it's going to go because it's in Theosophy, it's in Steiner's work. It's all the way back. There's a woman who says, you know, as he's about to leave, she's like, oh, he says, I'll be back in 85 years. And that's in 1890. And she is part of French royalty. And he's trying to prevent the French Revolution and all this stuff. And then he's like, don't worry, I'll be back in 85 years. And then in 1875, Blavatsky starts the Theosophical Society. So they're all kind of interrelated as people.
Hey, I got a question. Oh, yeah. Wait, go ahead, put that up. Let me see what you're putting up there, Marky Mark. Oh, Jacques Saint Germain.
Jacques.
Is there what's a dipshit last name? Like, what last name has nothing to do with fucking anything?
Ebsker.
Ebsker is not a good name. Yeah. My real name.
I think the Kurp thing is working. People are really catching on to that.
It's from Kyle Dunnigan.
Yes.
When I used to be at home with Sly Stallone, and Sly had you know how these like rich guys have like a friend that lives on the compound.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to be like a Kato Kalin or like whatever, and the joke we were trying to come up with, he doesn't know what my name is, and then he calls me Kurp, which Kyle made that up and made me laugh a lot, and then he had my license changed, like he went ahead and had my name changed to that and all, and he didn't like me doing my comedy career, which he keeps saying is magic, like he doesn't know what I do, and he likes me in the garage where he knows where I am. And dude, yeah, that's my favorite thing. Like, that's like the funniest shit to me is how because Kyle could just do Stallone. He's not doing Stallone. He's doing like Rocky, like a punch drunk Rocky, but he lives in it. Like, if you write impressions for people, like some people could just live. Like Mateo Lane does Liza. You ever see him do that?
Yeah,
dude, he used to do that on my old podcast with Sherrod. He did the live show. It was one of the funniest things. He had a full Liza gown on, and we'd have the spotlight going on. He had a fucking mustache, and he does. I mean, and he's like, oh, I could just so he'll just be in character. You know, just being able to do characters like that, like Dunnigan does, by the way. I'm going to say DJ to separate you from Dan Saint Germain, Dan.
Yes.
I've witnessed this where like Sacha Baron Cohen could go into character and he's gone, dude. There ain't nobody there but the character.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And first time I saw it, I probably told the story before, but this other dude, Dan Swimer's a writer. Dan and Ant were his buddies from Oxford that were the writer. I love them dudes, man. But I remember Sacha's playing a billionaire character named Geo. Okay, there's on Who's America, and it was the one where he gets the yacht salesman to agree to human trafficking. This is before the Epstein thing.
Yeah.
What we did, that prank, is so closely approximates the Eric Weinstein story about meeting Jeffrey Epstein. It's unbelievable. As soon as he's talking about the weird little tests in it that he sensed, I'm like, we did that to somebody with a fake billionaire. Like, we did that. And I was like,
crazy.
And the way Sasha's operation works is like rich kids burn their fucking good connections. Really works like an intel agency is how it works.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't understand any of this at the time because, you know, Assad was the big bad guy that the entertainers were being tricked into saying they'll play for. But I don't have no issue with Assad or understand why I'm supposed to give a shit. And Al-Qaeda's in charge of Syria now. So, like, maybe you're a little hard on old Assad looking back now.
Hey, man, Al-Qaeda's having a Cracker Barrel rebrand right now, you know? Just got
well, don't tell Guantanamo. They'll probably be bewildered. There's dudes in there still. Yo, I feel like on vacation didn't feed the family turtle or something when I think of Guantanamo.
Yeah.
Well, Kurt, if you get invited to go over to the Middle East, like play in Iraq, would you go play in Iraq?
I'll do any USO out of feeling bad for like, because I always had like, I don't know, dude, a bunch of vets always like my shit, and when I used to this cartoon voice on the show Ugly Americans, and so the biggest fans, because it's during Iraq, I guess in Iraq you weren't allowed to watch anything about Fox News and cartoons. So the dudes would tell me they have a split screen of just watching this show I was on, this cartoon, and fucking Fox News. So yeah, dude, you know, like I look at it like Jimmy Dore, a show I'm on, and Jimmy's always mad at cops because he's from a family of Irish Chicago cops. So I've in LA at the bad times of LA before I left, like I was so happy this one cop was a fan of Jimmy's show. That was around our block, because I have a hobo confrontation every other day where I live. And
yes,
you know, this cop's a fan of Jimmy, and Jimmy's like, I told you the cops. And I noticed these cops aren't mad at Jimmy because they like he's like the younger brother of some cop. like it's like Irish guy.
Yeah. Isn't he from Boston?
Hilarious, dude. It's like his dad was a cop, and I think his dad was an honest cop too. Which is probably why he's in a bad mood. That's what I suspect from what he tells me.
Is he from Boston?
He's from Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah.
Rough.
But anyway, you know, even like people being mad, like I had every kind of cop interaction. Okay, I'm not every kind. I didn't get shot, but I had a lot of kinds. And you know, it's like location. Depends what I was doing. I've had them be all kind of ways. It was, you know, like any other civil servant thing, you know, some of them are going to be like how they are and some aren't, and your odds are, but I really like, there's this thing of where you're supposed to be mad at like the people that are not giving the orders, you know, like it's like yelling at the Verizon don't even have Indians on the other line anymore. Now you get like an auto response, but back in the day when you could get some good live human being, Filipino or Indian, if you had an issue and they hired a person for less money so you could yell at them and they don't have to listen to it. That's the whole reason they outsourced that work, you know? Wow. And it's like, so once you know that, you're like, what, are you going to yell at them? Do you feel better? I mean, you did nothing. Like, it's done nothing. Like they set these people here for you to yell at. It's the same as any other. Pick your identity group that somebody says is the one thing. It obviously is not that. It's always obviously that who wrote the treatise on the Punic Wars that they teach? John Taylor Gatto always talks about it. You know, in Against School, like Hobbes Leviathan, not Pliny, or I forget. It's some Caesar's treatise. It's all about how to divide and conquer. You know, you set two groups like, oh, this is, or Rwanda is a great example. I think Rwanda, dude, is a real like beta test of something they want to bring over here, and probably tried to set off, because it's like the purge. That ask DJ question, Kurp, you're going on one. What does that mean?
A tangent.
Yo, okay, that's true. I think Rwanda was like if you ever saw Kingsman with the tone in the phones. It's exactly that, but I think it's something approximating that because of.
I think that's foreshadowing. It is. It is. Yeah. A lot
because
there's a
people
lot of
power drills.
Like that. Yeah.
It's like the Dark Awakening Russ Dizdar would talk about happened in Rwanda already, you know, and I think it happens here a little bit.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so
when they put out Enemy of the State, nobody knew anything. So that's 1997.
I didn't even see it. Who's in it again? Will Smith?
Gene Hackman.
Yes.
It's like
and it's Tony Scott.
Conversation.
And he ends up jumping off a bridge eventually because he was putting out these types of movies. He was getting into it. And
Tony Scott jumped off a bridge.
Yes.
Like Gary DeVore. Well, he drove off a.
Yeah, and you know they did the whole. He had emotional issues. I mean, the guy, you know, way too much of a coincidence with him, and his family was really suspicious of the whole explanation. I mean, there's a lot of things like that. Carradine was like that too.
Well, Carradine, I thought a hooker left him, like robbed him and left him or something. Was like where it shook out, but
yeah,
it is strange. But
he'd always been doing. Carradine had always been doing that kind of stuff. So it's like this time he happens to get killed. It just seemed weird. And
Chloe, did you ever your boyfriend with the PlayStation engagement ring? Did you ever tie him up in the closet, like hang him up for erotic asphyxiation, and then walk out on him?
No. Only when we were role playing cops.
Your ancestors would do it. All right, listen. I
find
want to go off on a lot of tangents, but first I want Dark Journalist to give me the lowdown on the LaBranche family.
We had mix-ups with the Saint Germains too.
It is.
I heard that part.
Well, what's interesting is with Saint Germain coming out of France, such a prominent character, he reemerges in New Orleans.
He does?
The part, yeah. And people try to figure out, is that him?
Should I go to a room like this?
Well, Dan,
hello, how are they? You know, it is I, Saint Germain. I'll be doing my funnies for you this evening, and then I'll be out.
You have an age a day. Like
they'll probably contact you at some point. That's the way I put it to you that way.
Wow,
that'd be great. I'm looking for it, man. I'm looking for it.
That whole series of books that Anne Rice did draws heavily not only on Saint Germain but LaBranche, and it's interesting because all of the things that Lestat does when he burns the plantation, all that's all LaBranche.
The plantation burned down everything except for the dependency house.
Whoa! Wow, what year is that?
I don't know, but I do know Zachary Taylor's bathtub is buried on it, and Hitler's favorite horse.
Hitler's favorite horse?
Yeah.
Wow.
What was the horse's
How did they get their hands on that?
They probably thought it was like, ha ha ha, let's take his horse.
Sacred object.
You think they're just rubbing it in? But I think Hitler would appreciate it if he had a good family because he loved animals. He was really nice to animals.
It's true. Yeah. Vegetarian, nice to animals. What went wrong?
He was like Moby.
The question.
Yeah, what went wrong with Hitler?
That's a really good question.
Wait, what?
He said, what went wrong? And I said, what went wrong with Hitler? How did it go so
Moonchild, that's what I think. And I think all that crap from stupid Carl Jung, that weird wizard.
Yes.
I think they moonchilded Odin into him or whatever the hell they were trying to get. And the whole
he's
reason
big in the Brill Society. Very
and
the
boys from Brazil crap where they want to clone Hitler. It's not because they love the guy. There is no guy. Who the hell is Hitler? Nobody knows. There's no Hitler. It's a vessel. So they want to know the container. Okay, container as good as Hitler.
He's a painter.
You can pour in whatever and work him around. I think he's a big gain of function COVID virus is what I think. What?
He's like MK Ultra, right? Programmed.
No, that predates it. Now you sound like a fool, Chloe.
No, it's a good point though, because of course we got the whole program of mind control directly out of the Germans, so it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, we do German style.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Whoop German style.
That's not. That's Gangnam style is German style.
Sorry, I'll shut up.
No, listen. Just because we're gonna find out you're a witch, I don't want you to take it hard. Okay. Netflix has a whole Wednesday Addams show. What?
Dan's a vampire. You're fucked.
This is the best news I've heard all day. Honestly,
he does look pink and filled with blood, doesn't he?
A very well. I drink a lot of blood. A very well drank vampire.
Yeah.
There's a girl.
Are you familiar with the Anne Rice books?
What?
I know because I've seen the show, but I've never read Interview with the Vampire or Queen of the Damned or any of that stuff.
It's got
look like a guy
there's a lot of history in it.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
Well, I kind of want to know more about the actual guy now. You know.
Yeah. Let's learn.
Well, maybe you don't want anything to do with the background too. There's a lot of people. It's a very slippery slope. You're like, do I want to even know about the background with this? You know, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think things can only go up for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's gonna fuck the great thing I have going on right now.
Yeah. Not like Dan has no demons already.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed. Yeah, I'm not making J.J. Abrams money over here.
Dan, you look like a respected author.
Who like has to eat it like a Panda Express and stuff.
Yeah. Well, when I first looked into the branch,
it's actually not bad.
Like you'd be at a table with Anne Rice is what you look like.
You should do the podcast circuit as respected author.
You put your name respected author Dan.
I should write that as my intro before I get on stage. I'm like, hey, can you announce me as respected author Count Saint Germain?
Yeah, it's something about having a beard with white in it, but a good thick head of hair. Says back of a novel cover.
Yeah, just have rouge and powder all over myself, and
I don't know what James Patterson looks like, but I think he looks like you.
James Patterson isn't a guy, man. He's a vessel.
Is it? Okay, so my buddy Speed? What, Chloe?
Nothing. I said James Patterson pumps out more books than anybody.
Yeah,
that's true.
Those
puts
guys,
out
they
like
have
10 books a year.
That's why he eats a lot of carbs.
3 guys who like write every one of those books.
Do you know
yeah, for sure, dude.
He knew Epstein.
James Patterson?
Yeah, because they were both in Palm Beach. And one of my friends who grew up in Palm Beach writes about like he always uses her mom's name as different characters.
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Chloe knows a lot of weird. I mean, I'm not even going to put on the show the weird shit Chloe has told me because it won't be good if I do. But suffice it to say, it's.
What if you allude to it without going on the record?
Famous people are fucked the fuck up. I'll put it that way. Like they're real big stars.
Goth chick? Fuck off.
Would you? Oh, he gave you witchy goth chick?
Yeah.
That's like really in now.
Yeah,
I would put like 8th generation vampire or some kind of.
I'm not a vampire though. It's down.
What's the snake house of Harry Potter?
Can you just write sugar planter?
Hitler's second kid, of course. Chloe.
There you go. Nice sugar planter. That's why I thought she sounded like an Anne Rice background because of her sugar planter aunt starving that. Do you know the story of her aunt that starved that chick in the attic or whatever? The mistress of her dead husband. The husband was dead.
Your
right?
aunt? How far back in the generations is this?
What, the woman who put the person in the attic? That's why the ghost of LaBranche is at that house at Royal Street.
Oh. Okay. Everyone goes there to see the ghost.
Yeah, that's the ghost. It's the woman she chained up because she was her husband and roofied her.
What do you mean by roofied, Chloe?
I don't know. I don't know if they had GHB, but it's something.
GHB and roofies are not the same thing.
Her name was Melissa. She had her over for tea. Miss LaBranche lived for another 15 years with the woman's corpse above her all those years.
Oh, yeah.
Oof. Okay, that's a magic spell, right? You want a negatively charged attic for some reason. Is that not some kind of weird magic?
His wife found out after he died. Maybe she just wanted something to go around.
And also to go after someone after they died and do that, like
that's cool. Like, that's redemption.
It's what?
I think it's retribution. You're thinking retribution.
Which is not redemption. Well, but retribution after the guy dies. It doesn't sound like you're trying to eat somebody's power or some kind of weird shit. Like dude, I said in the last episode, because I had this, my girl does an art podcast, okay?
Yeah.
She did a Austin Spare. You know Austin Spare? DJ?
No,
German, he did a lot of sigil horseshit. He knew Crowley.
Yeah.
It's called The Bad Art Show with Jenna Sparrow.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on it, and I ruin it most of the episodes.
True, very true.
Because I get bored learning facts. I get. But
how do you go on the art show then?
It helps. It helps the show.
That's the show. That's true.
But I have fun on it. So we had Johnny Pemberton one's coming out. That's gonna be a good one. I love that dude, Johnny Pemberton. He's on Fallout now.
Yeah, I'm so happy. Him and John Daly kill it on that show.
John Daly's good on that show too, dude.
Yeah, he's really good on that show.
Pemberton, I thought Pemberton was so good on it, and I think he's gonna get ghoulified on the next one. All these things now, especially I can't recommend Dark Journalist enough, by the way, Dan. If you want Dan doesn't
dude.
Okay, you know what a mystery school is? I was trying to explain to Dan what mystery schools are, but you could do it better, TJ, actually.
Oh, well, that tradition goes all the way back to Atlantis. So, the Egyptian mystery schools, Akhenaten and all that. And the idea they're just preserving the secrets and the techniques. And Gurdjieff had a very good explanation of this, which is he said, the what to do is always on the surface, whether it's in religions, it's like turn the other cheek and all this other things. But the methods for how you do it stay underground. So the whole method is maintained by the mystery schools. And the reason, according to Gurdjieff, was when that comes out, if it goes public, it's hunted, because that's a power structure that they can't have out in the public with whoever the ruling structure is. And that goes all the way back to the Egyptians and so on. But those schools faced a real problem. Apparently, around 1840, because of scientific materialism, they had to come out. There's a group in there that says you have to put this out because in 100 years, we're not going to recognize humanity. So that's where the battle. And so all this stuff blows up in the 19th century. Mediumistic trances, table rapping, clairvoyant. Abraham Lincoln is trying to contact his son with a medium in the White House. That's all.
That's a great book, by the way. Lincoln and the Bardo. The guy who did
yes,
George Saunders, the guy who did that Dubai stuff over at Vanity Fair. He's great.
Well, the woman who did so much for Lincoln on the medium side, Emma Britton, she founded Theosophy with Blavatsky. So the political mystery thing is just there. You can't get around it. And Steiner, who ran Anthroposophy, is like a public mystery school. He said that in that era, when Blavatsky was around, 1875, 1880, that the mystery schools owned 80% of the political situation in America. And for, so the secret societies and the mystery schools, the good, the bad, and the ugly there. And because many of the mystery schools are concerned with moving the culture forward. But
so mystery school is creating, it creates new religions. Is that what you're saying? I'm just trying to and Atlantis, because I've now heard Atlantis is real from not just you, from other reputable sources or whatever.
From a fish, you told me.
Man, I would love to have that fish's career, Kurt. But yeah, so after Pangea, Atlantis, and then like that, they migrate back to Egypt. So Egypt is a mystery school that creates, I guess, then Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, and then you move into those territories and then create mysteries. Mystery schools would be offshoots of Christianity, offshoots of Judaism, obviously offshoots of Islam, and then new religions like Scientology. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
It's the real tradition underneath it. So it's the esoteric Christianity, it's the esoteric Buddhism. The problem is the public religion often prosecutes the mystery schools. That's a problem. So you couldn't really, it's what you're saying is true, but you also have to think of it in terms of the public identification, because the regular Christian church would burn witches and things like that.
Right.
So you have the mystery tradition in that world going after the public part, going after the mystery tradition.
Hold on. Chloe, did you eat anything today?
Yeah.
Okay, because you look like you're getting the sugars.
The sugars. No, I'm
You
good.
got the sugars. You what?
I'm just a girl. Sometimes I forget things like to listen.
Wait, hold on one sec. What the hell? Hey, why is my thing being stupid? Hold on, sorry. Oh, there it goes. Wait. So those mystery schools, this is my question. Why do so many of them, the mystery, which I said to Blair, so I had Blair White on, Daniel, I think I messaged you.
I watched the show. It was great.
Yeah, that blew my mind, what Blair told me. And especially all that androgyne, because I think all this trans shit you see now is more galleys of Kyblee, or how do you say it? Cybele? I say Kyblee. But I think that's a repeat of that.
Yeah.
A fat cat lady sitting in the throne.
Yeah, the androgyne is the top of the tree of life in that setup. So
and I heard Joe Farrell talking on some random. I was trying to find Joseph Farrell shit, and he was talking about him and his partner were trying. I think he wrote like 8,000 books that you can't get online. I gotta order them. And but he was saying, how would God be androgyne and yet male, like they call he? And he said they realize it's because the man has the potential to be male or female comes out of the guy. That's how.
Interesting, yeah.
So
that's fascinating, because the mystery school stuff from Casey and Steiner, they're all saying, look, it all split male into female about 500,000 years ago.
Okay,
so before that, it was all into sex and one.
Straight again. So is this one philosophy we're talking about that then is just
a lot of repeating themes, I think, and also this
the Horus. So it's like a Horus sun god is the Christ story, is the whatever.
It is a recurring pattern. Yeah. But see,
is it based on one doc? It's based on one thing.
They had to split it. The mystery tradition. So the ones that went, for example, to India, they had to deal with philosophy, because remember, the stuff is persecuted. So if you have everything in one, if they get rid of it, the whole culture goes. You lose it. So in one avenue of it in Persia, they took psychology. In India, they took philosophy.
Yeah.
In Egypt, they took practice. So it's split up in different places. So they're not all going to say, for example, this particular thing is true. For example, in Steiner's work, his Atlantis period, his timing for Atlantis is different than Casey's Atlantis time. You're going to find thousands of years of difference. But what is universal to those mystery schools is the idea of Akashic Chronicle, which is viewing the past. So you get yourself into a state where you can view the past, and they have people, they train them over decades to be able to scan and do retrocognitive apprehension of ancient cultures. So I can look back if I'm in the proper state and I can revisit these things.
So there's no real name for it in essence, maybe because the divine you can't give a name to, but maybe also for practical purposes of now we can't really say what this thing is because it's too ambiguous to real. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, what's the first document that I could read that is based off of this, which would be the first document in human history, right?
Well, I mean, the Book of the Dead, there's a lot.
Sure.
I mean, the Bible itself, to be honest with you, and because the Bible goes back into Samaria. So what we get is that traditional Bible, but the tradition is much older. And then if you go back before that, in Casey's work, the rediscovery of this, you've got the pyramids, and it's 10,500 BC. Well, you've lost 8,000 years in traditional history because the traditional history of how you get Egypt in the first place is devised in the 17th century when they don't really have the tools to observe this, but they become kind of a fiefdom. And they're like, this is our list of kings. It goes back, and this is pre-dynastic or whatever. But right from this point on, it's 3000 BC, and that's it. There's no culture back there. Well, so the mystery traditions get together around 1850 and say, we have to let some of this out. And a lot of those mystery traditions say, no, we're good. We're the arcane schools. We keep the knowledge. We keep the information. And so that's a battle.
Fear
you
of
can see the
populism
battle play out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a pure fear of populism to me at the end of the day.
Fear of populism. Yes.
They're like, we can't ever let these peasants.
Yeah. Well,
because I like, I mean, I watch it. I don't agree with some of his things, but he did make me think about things in a way I hadn't thought of before. So I like that. This dude, I call him Jazz Jabroni all the time, but his name's Jason Giorgiani. And he's big on this thing Prometheism, which I'm like, I don't think.
Full disclosure, I had a weird dust up with Giorgiani.
Well, when it comes to world events, because I'm on a news show, dude. So the reason I can look at Cuckoo Atlantis stuff and I know current events real well, not because I want to. It's my job. I actually hate it. I mean, drinking has helped. I have to say a lot, but it, just like Ukraine or Gaza or. Like Dan, I had talked to in a while, but like Dan, some people know stuff more than ever did before, but I didn't understand that situation until Norman Finkelstein came on Jimmy's show and broke it down extremely simply. It turned out it's not that complicated. The big lie that it's complicated, no, it's not. So once I just what?
Are you talking about Atlantis there? It's not complicated?
No, Gaza.
Oh, Gaza.
You can't just kill civilians wantonly and act like it's moral. Like that's not a complicated thing. You're not going to make Dresden make that. I was watching these psychopaths go, well, Dresden, the thing Kurt Vonnegut wrote about that I thought we agreed was bad.
Yeah. Although Leo DiCaprio's hotel in Gaza will be called Atlantis. So that's how it ties in.
Is that true?
No.
No, but there's a major resort in the Bahamas called Atlantis, however.
Yes,
and Howard Hughes founded it.
Yeah,
that's right. And what do you call it? So now so being on Jimmy's show for a while, because I used to always hate all leftists after Barry Crimmins died. I was like, that was the last leftist that I liked.
Interesting.
What?
No, interesting that's the last one that you liked was Barry.
Well, because Barry used to go, there's no left here. The closest left is like 2,000 miles away, and I would go, well, you could have fooled me, Barry, because I got the whole press tried to ruin me one year.
Yeah.
But he was right. Not me. He was right. Barry was right. We have boutique. It's a boutique lifestyle brand here. We get a 2-lie system of like the Republicans or Democrats. It's nonsense. It's always the same nonsense. You get that stupid Masonic duality. So Trump's the white square and fucking, Kamala was the black square, the Indian square, we'll call it. Anyway, and then I watch people who I know look down on Crips and Bloods. Okay, I know they look down on Crips and Bloods, and yet they have the same level of rationality as a Crip or a Blood about the other gang, and the same color scheme. They do a blue versus red. It's the same thing down. Like as the carpets sew the drapes, as they say, as an esoteric. You could scale this shit up. It's the same goddamn thing.
No,
or you see gang signs. That's what the Freemasons did, right?
It's like sports teams.
Well, this ability to see into the past, and it's something that it's something I'm getting into lately. So I'm very new to it, but
interesting.
Ability to see in this past. How many people do you think, like, I know we all technically could have this. How many people do have this and could practice it? Like, not just like, because I think Kurt's right about the populist thing. I think a lot of people could do it, but how many people do you think?
That's what Jazz Jabroni says.
But in the United States have this gift, and also like if there's that many people, this is the one thing, and I believe all this stuff, but it is a devil's advocate argument. Like there's got to be two people that are like me and Kurt that won't shut the fuck up. There's got to be like
there's a lot more than that, Dan. There's so many more. I only know stuff from people running their mouth.
Wouldn't there be more of a? Wouldn't we know a little bit more? That's my one devil's advocate.
You can find it all, dude.
I know you can find it in the archives, but like, wouldn't there be one big fuck up? Like,
there has been many times. What do you think Epstein was? What do you think the Diddy thing was? What do you think the time? In fact, if this is what blows my mind and horrifies me the most is everybody that waits for disclosure. This is why I like Daniel's show because and I directly got this from Daniel's show when I was on Rogan last when that stupid documentary came out. Okay,
Age of Disclosure.
Yeah, Age of Disclosure.
Not coming out yet. They're
brought to you by the CIA, right?
It hasn't come out?
No,
they got hung up. Yeah, because Elizondo sued the writer and all that stuff.
There's a lot of bullshit happening. That's probably what it is. But, you know, the cover story is, I mean, also is that they think that they're going to be thrown in prison. And I don't know how true that is. That's also a great way to sell a movie when it finally comes out. You know what I mean?
There's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing in the movie that would get anyone in prison because they've done screenings of it. And the people who've seen it, they did one in Austin.
Somebody recounted it, and I kind of knew everything that was.
It's a real Epstein binder of a movie. Put it that way. It's a wave your Epstein binder, jerk off.
Yeah, it really does feel like a lot of, you know. I mean,
so I knew about
defense contracted up, you know.
Oh wait, Mark, super chats are working. Does that mean we have super chats, or they're just working? Oh, he's made. Oh,
super
so I got
chats are live.
Okay.
Yeah, you can accept them now.
Oh, do I have to do it or you could do it?
No, it's the people listening will send them. It's all good. It's live.
They can contribute to your show, contribute to Kurp.
Hey, you could wait till I get these t-shirts. They're good shirts, dude. Okay, wait. So what were we just talking about before the super chat thing derailed? Because you just brought up a very interesting thing to me.
Well, you were going into Age of Disclosure. And you were talking about
So that's why I learned about, because you have John Warner the Fourth on all the time.
Oh yeah.
From and so Chris Mellon, and you call it the X Protect file. Is it called that, or is this a thing? This X Protect, and I'm still not clear on it. And I watch a lot of Dog Journalists, but it's like a lot of parts of the story. You've noticed a kind of steganography is like hiding, it's encoding stuff and information.
It is
from I forget the guy's name. And
Trithemius.
Say it again.
Trithemius.
Okay, so Trithemius started doing that. It must be older than him, though, right? Or no?
Well, he said that he got it from the Greeks and that it was a page within a page. That's the way he described it. So, and he's doing it in a monastery where if he puts this stuff out, he could really be burned at the stake. So it's
a real Stanley Kubrick trick to pull. And so, so it's like Stanley Kubrick filmmaking from years ago.
It is.
The X logo, you started seeing that X symbol on things, and it was a through line to all the way up to UFO shit. Am I even remotely near what you're saying?
Well, I presented a whole basis for X steganography. So X steganography, they reused it starting in the 20th century to take programs that were secret, move them through the government. When they would go black, they would reemerge about a year, 2, 3 later, and they'd have this X piece. So the development that went on in between at the Atomic Energy Commission or the Foreign Technology Office, whatever agency they moved it through, they would adopt X. And it became so obvious. I had so many examples of it that I went back to the original because, of course, X-Files and all the rest.
Yeah.
But X, the steganography of X goes all the way back to the mystery schools. And, they use it as the Christ symbol. And it is throughout history. It's in all the Mayan architecture. And when I went into it deep enough, it was to originally record such a mystical event as the complete destruction of Atlantis. And they are then carrying the technology after the fact into a very small group of initiates, like, 100 people or less, from a gigantic civilization that ran everything down there. And that's where you get X-steganography in the Book of the Dead and, throughout the Egyptian culture, Horus and Osiris. That whole piece comes out of it. But you really see it show up, the X-steganography show up when they're doing this secrecy piece around the UFO file in the early 20th century, and that's Vannevar Bush. And he's coming out of the MIT Lodge over here, and he's the Master Mason. And he's thinking, this is how we'll keep the secret. We'll use Masonic techniques around the UFO file. And that's what they did.
And that thing of doing Masonic techniques, that's in Tragedy and Hope, what Richard Grove sent me. So I call him Rabbi Richard Grove. He sent me Anglo-American World Power and Tragedy and Hope. I've never read Tragedy and Hope. I read Tragedy and Hope 101, which he also sent me. Because Tragedy and Hope is very, I'm going to have to read it, but it's
you can work out with Tragedy and Hope too, because of the size of the book. It's ridiculous. It is incredible though.
But it's amazing that that's a thing that even exists. And he's actually, as Douglas Murray said today, he's been to the archives. You haven't been?
That was so embarrassing, man.
But I'll tell you another thing I just discovered, which I bet Daniel, you probably know something about this. Alice Bailey. So I always say his Tragedy and Hope is almost like the dry dinosaur skeleton of the thing that we're currently in to me.
Yes.
Like how it's like there's nothing UFO-y about it, even though the guy, Carol Quigley, was given cosmic level clearance. That doesn't necessarily mean that just means this is really the highest. It's after Q level clearance. Am I wrong about this? There's 8 levels above the president.
Clinton was his protege. So
yeah, right.
That,
so there's 8 levels above the presidency and whatever this.
I forget what they're called, but that's the last thing I saw was the president's level of top secret. There's 8 levels above him. And the rationale, as I understand it, is, well, the president's only there 48 years or to 8 years. And so there's some things, if the guys, but never mind that explanation. That means your vote doesn't count, is how I take it. If the president's not in charge of all this shit, then clearly it don't matter to that level.
Kurt, was there was Cheney in that line before he was vice president, and that's why
Cheney is one of the biggest pieces of shit.
I know that. I'm just saying in that line,
dude. Unless you read Kathy O'Brien's book, you don't know.
Oh, I don't know as much as you, but I'm saying, like, could he have been above Bush even before he was
sure
George W. Bush?
Bush is dude. I used to joke
lost to be vice president.
Okay, see my John Bolton shirt someone made me with him on the ball.
Oh, that's great.
So years ago, I was on Red Eye with John Bolton and KT McFarland, and I cracked it. And John Bolton laughed at all my jokes, by the way. So I was like, he's a pretty good guy, right? He's all right. He got my joke. But
besides the whole bomb we're in and thing.
Dude, this is like years ago. So I made a joke about, I said, Dick Cheney looks like the kind of guy that puts on a stethoscope to listen to lobsters boiling in a pot. Dude, John Bolton cracked the fuck up. I mean, he was like beside himself with how funny that was. Yeah. And I didn't understand why he was laughing that hard at the time.
What?
I didn't understand why Bolton was laughing so hard at that at the time, but now I do. I do. Because and another joke that I used to make was that I'm sure W and Jeb used to get hunted naked through the woods by Dick Cheney, like Ice-T and Surviving the Game, or the.
There was actually like 10 Bush brothers, guys.
Okay, so I think that did happen. Now, I think that literally that happened.
You think that had
dude, they love the most dangerous game, these people. In fact, Mike Tyson hinted at it to Rogan on an interview. Mike Tyson I met like 3 times.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something crazy, by the way. He remembers me. I don't know if he would now, but he's like, hey, Craig, good to see you again. I'm like, how? There's a guy that boxes and remember. I don't remember people's names like that.
Wow.
Yeah, but he goes, anything you could imagine a rich guy would do, they did it. Like hunting a guy like that. He said he fucking basically hinted without saying it to Joe that they play the most dangerous game. Now I've heard countless stories of the most dangerous game, and I've heard different variations.
Sons, but I mean, I was just talking about to his actual sons, but I've heard that
they don't kill you. Look. Here's how it works. And I heard this. So my Aunt Billy, I think she's gone now. So my Uncle Jim, when my blood aunt died, he married Aunt Billy, and Aunt Billy. Well, this is what she told me the one time we all went out and hung out was she used to be in the Hells Angels when it first started and was not any kind of criminal thing. They're just a motorcycle club of veterans. And she goes, yeah, my brother goes by a fake name now. And she said Sonny Burgess or Burgess. And I'm like, Sonny Barger? And I'm still not clear, and I'll never get the chance to clear up. But she said they play a game called Catch the Rabbit where you have a bag of like chalk dust and you drive your motorcycle out in the desert and they got to hunt you down. Okay. And my mother's hilarious too. My mother will so Billy's not saying what happens when they catch the chick, but you could guess. But my mom's the type like, what happens when they catch her? Because Aunt Billy didn't want to say. The most dangerous game is not necessarily that they're going to kill you, although I'm sure they do that one with people.
I 100%.
They do it with their kids because when they catch you and then something bad and sexual happens, it's your fault that you got caught. That's why.
Yeah. There's a movie from 1930, really early, vibe in Hollywood called exactly that. And it's very unusual. So I think the theme goes back a long, long time.
Yeah, it's like, what's the deadliest game to catch? And also, if you already kind of think you're a different species and you've got the blood of Cain or whatever these freaks think.
Yeah.
You know how I got into this, dude? I started looking up the tall whites as a joke.
Oh, yeah, Charles Hall.
Oh, no, that's
I had never heard of it.
That's totally legit, yeah.
Well, in 2011, I remember reading in The Week magazine, which used to be good. It was like a Reader's Digest of all the news. Before I gave up completely on all regular news forms, they had a little wacky, because I'm always I write monologue jokes for people all the time. So I'm looking for wacky news,
Oh, yeah.
And you'd be surprised what they put in the wacky news. But this one was really wacky. It was a Farsi language newspaper claimed Obama was in league with some extraterrestrials called the Tall Whites.
Yeah.
It was 2011.
Yeah.
Now I heard of the Greys, right? That's all I'd ever heard of. I'm like, the Tall Whites. What the hell is that?
An Iranian news agency put this out. You're right.
And they said Russia probably leaked. Say what, Dan?
No, he said that's just John Kerry and his wife. I was just thinking of the Tall Whites.
Yeah, that tree, that human ant from the Lord of the Rings. So wait, I was trying to look it up. Like I never heard of this species of aliens, the tall white. Couldn't find nothing at the time. Okay. Years later, during the pandemic, Charles Hall's thing comes up, and his story. What made it so fascinating was normally when you hear this alien crap, like your Linda Moulton House and what she's almost like an aggregator of all the things ever.
Oh yeah.
A friend of mine, Buddy Bolton, the comic. Remember Buddy Bolton, Dan?
No, I don't think I do.
Okay. So he became a remote viewer. This guy used to babysit his dogs. He played a comic strip.
He's a remote. Is he now? Is he still alive?
I don't know what he's doing. He looks sick. I sent him money. I hope he's okay.
I would love to fucking.
But she goes, I'm watching Linda Moulton Howe with Jenna when we were first dating, and then she goes, I can now reveal the identity of Psychic X. And it was Buddy, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And
right,
so
he is the person that you knew. You actually know Psychic X.
Yeah, that's Buddy Bolton. I used to babysit his 2 wiener dogs.
And what do you think of the fact that she was using him as a whistleblower? Was he reliable?
Well, Buddy, okay. Well, Buddy's he definitely was a drug addict for sure, because we were doing a lot of drugs and I hang out with Buddy. But Buddy would always talk about this kind of stuff. I already know this kind of phenomena happens because it's happened to me personally with my girl. My girl has some kind of, my girlfriend, and she's so casual about it. Like, she'll act like I'm a whack job for talking about this shit. And then she'll casually tell me some story where I'm like, you don't think that's the craziest thing you've ever, like one night she woke up and there's a fucking orb. Wow, she's at her parents' house in San Diego, about an hour from that base. She wakes up and there's a blue orb that it looks like liquid, but not. Okay. And it's over her hip.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And as it's going over, it's pushing her down on the couch she was sleeping on.
Like physically pushing her down?
Long story short, it sounds exactly how Ashton Forbes described how you'd have a plasma ball stable with the right field around it. So you get that refrigerator magnet pushing
Coronado, there's all kinds of experimental stuff in Coronado, which is so close.
Yeah. Oh, and then when she told me that, I'm like, what do you love that orb? I always say she cheated. I always get like jealous of the orb.
Dude, that would be so funny if you came home and there was just she like had to pull herself off.
You fuck that orb. I like to get like really, I call her a horb.
But what has he got that I don't got? It's just floating.
Oh, anytime I go call your boyfriend the orb. She told me this story so casually, dude, that I was like, I'm sorry, could you repeat the story that you just fucking said to me?
Yeah,
I had now 2 incidents where her, you know, it's like a good relationship. So, you know, when you're kind of pretty simpatico with somebody and so here's a weird one, dude, that I didn't even, let's see, wait. You mentioned before, a bit curious, you have German ancestors. Your name is Metzger, means butcher. Yes, that's true. I do. My grandpa, Austin Metzger, my middle name's Austin. My grandpa worked for Boeing in World War II back in the day, and then he got very disillusioned with war and became a Jehovah's Witness because they're anti-war. But he was one of the first people to fly planes, my grandpa. And I have a scrapbook I got to get from my mom of, you know, remember Flight of the Phoenix, that movie they made with Kurt Russell, the remake? There's an old version. My grandfather's best friend died in the old version of that movie because that plane didn't fly good, I guess, that they make in the day. And they used to fly with no like artificial horizon. They didn't have none of that. And you get paid in flying time, like being a comedian, when they would give you food spots and shit. Yeah, and it's wild. What he told me was wild. Like, and I wish he was alive now because there's a bunch of stuff I would ask him about now. But you know, I was in that gate program. It was called Gifted and Talented. It wasn't like sinister. It was Smart Kid class.
Well, Gifted and Talented was it is. We had Ross Coulthart on the show, and Gifted and Talented, which I'm sure you know already, but that was a PSYOP training ground. I guess Gifted.
Yes, I know. I don't remember anything that happened in it. Maybe nothing bad happened. I have a pretty good memory, dude, and I don't remember.
You don't remember? Wait, anything that happened at Gifted and Talented?
I thought did.
How many years is it? 4? Wow.
It's a grammar school. It starts in first grade. It's more than, it's like 5.
We moved a few times when I was growing up. I lived in first Cleveland, Euclid, outside Cleveland, then Jersey, then North Carolina, then back to Jersey. And so it was called Gateway in one state, and I don't remember which one was which. But it was just, there was like first track, second track. It was just like something like that. And I don't remember going, I remember a pink drink, and which I think was just fluoride, but why were we drinking fluoride? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I was like, what's the, you know, a pink drink and no memories? I was like, is that bad? But I think it was just fluoride. Oh, Blair told me it's probably just fluoride.
Kurt, have you thought about doing a hypnotic regression to recapture the years that were?
Yeah, but
do that.
Yeah, I mean, this could be, it could be major if you did it.
Yeah, maybe. I want to get that Esterhaus book and just learn anyway, because so much of society, it turns out, is based on hypnotic. That, you know, like a lot of it is based on that, and I think people understand how mundane magic bullshit is. It's not like Pulp Fiction. It's the things you think are normal, and they're not. They're some kind of weird programming. Like Mark Passio. You know Mark Passio? He does good lectures. He's in the LeVay Church. He had a grotto in Philly.
He's deep on the Satanist.
Yeah, and he's not like Christian now, by the way. He's but he's an anti the Church of Satan, and you know they break the world down into carnies and rubes. Basically, is how I took it. Right? There's the carny class and the rube class.
Yeah,
and but you could put that through everything, dude. Like everything is like carnies and rubes, and so.
Oh yeah, dude.
What I was talking about with Dan before this is like with religion. If I'm in a religion, I like to know what I believe right up front, and I don't want to have to. But I do understand the mystery school thing of, you know, you can't just tell middle class and rich people the truth, but you have to like hold their. If you ever saw Breaking Bad when the chick doesn't want to see the dead bodies and the nice Nazi boy has to blindfold her like a Freemason initiate. To step over the bodies because she doesn't want to see it. Everyone's programmed to not want to see things. And I mean, now I really pay attention to it where they like start like looking off or whatever because they don't want to have to look at a thing. I know the feeling, but now I'm the most suggestible I've ever been, but you still have to give me a suggestion I could latch onto. That's all I ask. A lot of people can't do it. They expect you to just latch onto it. But I know what it's like to try to tell somebody the truth and then they can't take it. And that's what. So I see kind of like the wisdom of putting it in steps. Like now you're ready to understand this part of the thing. I'm very impatient. I like just blurt out everything I think I know immediately to everybody, and I don't care. I don't want to hold your hand through the 5 stages of grief. Because why? Barry Crimmins, my good friend, he said so many things I thought were like, why are you even talking about? Like, what a smuggerant little shit I was. And now, because I didn't listen to it, I remember it more. Because I was wrong, I remember it more. So I just figure I'll just yell into people's faces, and you look at my Muppet features, and when you see them, when time tells you I'm right, let's say, wait, in the gate program, they'd have us look at a vanishing point. Like, I remember the train tracks. I didn't try to make the tracks move. I don't remember trying to make it move with my mind, but I remember something with train tracks and vanishing point. Interesting, Beth Noyes. Thanks for 10 bucks.
Targ is fantastic. He's been on the show many times.
Oh yeah, you've had Russell Targ on.
Yeah. He's the good one. In remote viewing, he's the good one. There's a number of
it's not. By the way, I heard Russ Goldhart. A little rumor I heard. Can't substantiate it, but I'll just blurt it out. I don't give a shit. Russ Goldhart somehow had MK Monarch programming commands and used them on somebody to make them do a trick. And so I think he knows a lot more than he's saying.
Yeah. I don't think much of Goldhart. It's a good guest to get on your show, though.
He was great when he was great when he was on. By the way, we'd love to have you on the show, Dirk.
Oh, fantastic.
But he was great. He was great. I've always had good interaction.
I'll talk to anybody, dude. I don't care. I just want to hear your thing. You can lie to me too, but I'm gonna get data off you. You go ahead and lie if you want, but I'm gonna get what I want out of you.
Well, Russ has a very interesting quality of putting himself in the center of whatever UFO thing is going on. So sometimes that's good if you have a real legitimate thing, but sometimes it's the jellyfish UFO, you know? So that's the thing. If you're kind of the Geraldo of the UFO thing, it's bad.
Well, isn't it like anyone who needs access, you can only trust so much. Like it's like a Joe and Mika thing where it's like, if like half of your job is just getting in the room,
right.
Well, if you're telling the truth, sometimes you're not going to get in the room.
Well, her dad, who looked like a goddamn Pazuzu statue from Exorcist, by the way. The scumbag father. Wow. I mean, you ever read his writings? They're terrifying. I think he was like the George Martin of the Beatles of Al Qaeda, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh my God.
And I think Morning Joe, and so when they had to bend the knee to Trump, now I'm looking for like the blackmail angles on everything all the time. And also I'm looking for the angles of that shill shit. Like, I got a separate job of being a birthday clown, so I could just talk about this with I don't care who I like. When they go, you're in the space, in the UFO space, which is like a vice they already put on your head out of the gate. Watching how the programming works is fascinating.
Well, I will say, I said this when I was on Bonfire. I was like, it took years for me to feel comfortable saying I'm a comedian. Like it took me being on like
as it should.
As a point of pride. That's not the point. But it really took me until I did Fallon and was making a living from it. That's really what it took me. And
your parents try to give you jokes instead of like being really disappointed in you, then you made it.
That's whatever. If you're making a living, you pay rent, you made it.
I don't really. Everything's a cherry on top past paying my rent. I don't have to work a real job.
The point is, what I was trying to say is like, I felt comfortable calling myself a ufologist immediately.
Good.
I was like, I'm okay. You know what? I'm just going to come out. I'm just going to take this, guys. I'm going to just say I'm a ufologist.
Absolutely.
And some of the people I've seen are ufologists. I think I'm already more qualified.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Because they have I went off a tangent, didn't finish this, but President Hope, the dinosaur bones thing, the meat. So the religious angle of it. That Alice Bailey book, The Externalization of the Hierarchy. Did you read that?
No, I haven't fucking read that. I asked you for a list of fucking documentaries 2 nights ago. You didn't tell me.
I know. I got a lot of things going on. But so that hierarchy thing is so like telling, especially after all the tall white shit. Because what I was trying to do the reason I discovered Dark Journalist, this guy, Nathan Reynolds, who's on Tony Merkel's podcast.
Right.
Yeah, I heard Nathan Reynolds. Yeah.
Okay, Nathan Reynolds' story is wild, but here's the crazy part. Every thread that he gave me that I should look, watching him, I talked to him once on the phone too. I didn't learn about COG until him, okay? I didn't learn about all this stuff. Like, the things he's talking about are so crazy. And so what I try to do is I want to get all the academic nerd end of it, right? I'm going to get that dude from Justin Sledge, because I watch him. He's a Esoterica channel.
I've heard of Justin Sledge, yeah.
Well, I just like knowing the kind of what's the college level thoughts on this stuff. I want to hear all the things so I could like kind of mesh them together. I look at it like you got a right brain, left brain. You know, they call it masculine, feminine. I don't know if it's that cut and dry, but probably close. And then you got a subconscious, which to me is like a kid that your right and left brain are raising, right? That's why you got a mommy and a daddy to pattern your brain. And the government wants you to have a single parent skull. They want you to be all materialist or all goofy new age, but not balanced ever. And that way it's easier to stick their dick in your subconscious, which is what they always have the goal of doing is. So we got kindergarten so that people will shoot at other people because most people don't want to do that. Most people aren't psychopaths that want to kill someone, right? Or they think they do, and then they're like, "Oh, I didn't want to." It's only this many people that are like really like,
"Oh." Yeah, most death is a drunk guy beating up somebody. That's really what it is, or shooting someone. It's mostly that.
Well, I have not looked at the numbers, but maybe you're like a qualified author of crime. So I believe you.
Respected author.
As a colleague of James Patterson.
Okay, so Alice Bailey. So as a kid, as a Jehovah's Witness, when I was in a knock religion, and I had little born again friends, you know, and they were all Schofield Study Bible, Zionist Christian, PSYOP Christians that have been around since Jehovah's Witnesses were invented, I think. Okay. At the time, like your Hal Lindsey and shit, that was a big book, dude. The Megiddo Code part. Yeah, Late Great Planet Earth. And I'll tell you a movie that I did enjoy a lot. The Megiddo Code starring Michael York as the Antichrist. Megiddo Code 2, the Hal Lindsey movie. Me and my friends used to rent Christian movies to like see if they're good or laugh at them. But Megiddo Code 2, Michael Bain from Aliens is the president. And supposedly Michael York made a diary about being in this movie. I've never seen it around, but I would love to see that. But it was great. It was just like such a good 90s, like it's not like Left Behind crap. It was like good.
Kurt, have you been in movies?
Yeah, but
you were in Trainwreck. You were in Trainwreck.
They cut my scene, and
you were briefly in it.
What was the other thing? I've been in nothing big in a movie.
Yeah.
Mostly like cable shit. Really is what I've been on. I guess Last Comic Standing.
You should do it if you could find the right vehicle. It'd be fantastic.
Oh, I sold a show down here. It's called The Cutout.
Excellent.
It's like The Office, but it's about a cutout. Like yeah, it might be. They got a lot of money down here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like a lot of people from LA moved here, like producers that I've worked with before, and they
deep in the heart of Texas, right there.
Yeah, well, I think there's a move because of, as you know, they're going to detonate California.
Oh my God,
California! I mean, what a mess! And it's like run by 4 mob families, which is the Gettys and Newsom family and the Browns.
Exodus. I mean, forget it.
Yeah,
I lived there. I lived in San Francisco for many years. I loved it.
You lived in the nest, dude?
That was like 20 years ago, but you know.
Well, 20 years ago, they were talking about, 20 years ago, that's when they were pushing all the homeless into one section, like The Wire did with drug addicts. I remember
you could not walk through Jack London Square. I remember that in Oakland. But
yeah, and here there's a massive, like I said, we got Charles Manson homeless here, like white Pacific Northwestern type.
Yeah,
meth and fentanyl heads.
Like, I was almost on Young Sheldon, you know. They just become.
Dude, they would have never got anywhere near Young Sheldon. These people here, these are like, I'm sorry, what these are kind of. So people moved out of here. Mm-hmm. This was like a working class Mexican neighborhood where I live. But have you ever heard of Brown Flight?
Yeah.
You have?
Oh, okay.
Well,
I
thought it
made
White
Flight, Brown Flight.
Brown Flight.
I've never heard of it before in my life. I thought I made it up.
Never heard of that? No.
Well, I hear what it's like Lahaina homes where it's like they can't get them out of there kind of thing. And this is historic homes. So there's a soup kitchen that a crazy guy started a while ago. Now it's owned by some other Baptist church that I'm sure also have real estate holdings. Without even looking, using my psychic powers, I'll bet you they got real estate holdings. And so you drive you make it unlivable, and then a consortium comes and gives you a check to move. And why wouldn't you take it?
All right.
So now where I live, the house next door and 2 houses, nobody lives there. They're like, people are gone. So what happens now is these meth Charles Manson hobos will break into a house Now you would think they'd live in the house, but no, they set up mattress camps in the front yard.
Huh.
It's insane. It's just insane. And the cops will tell you to like get a gun, which I did. Yeah, then one good thing about Texas is you could just have any size of sword or gun.
Excellent.
Sword. Definitely.
We did the secret space program conferences right outside of Austin, and it was huge. I mean, the response was fantastic.
Well,
it was in Bastrop actually. But
the thing that I love about secret space program is like, okay, imagine if if Star Trek was real, but they never told Earth.
Yeah, right.
They go to hysterical, like, don't tell Earth we're doing this. Almost the mirror universe from Star Trek, where the evil Satanist Kirk and Spock lived. That's the one we live in.
Just go fundamental, right? There's no moon landing, manned moon landing since 1972. It's just a fact. How do you skip 53 years of a program?
Because someone told you. Well, now Rogan, I talk to him all the time about it because people will.
What's your guys' opinion on this? I want to know.
Well, people say it didn't happen at all, but I don't believe that, and here's why. I don't believe it didn't happen at all because now Rogan told me in Russia they were teaching kids in school America didn't go to the moon, but I'll bet you that was a specialized area. Why aren't they blowing up our spot on the national stage? Why isn't China blowing up our spot? They sent probes up there. Why they go, we didn't see your flag up there. Here's my dumb reason why I think they did go to the moon, but they're just not honest how the whole thing happened, is the Scottish Rite flag that they put on the moon, right?
Yes.
I thought it was Blue Masonic, but it's actually Scottish Rite from the last thing I looked at. But the point is, if you're going to put a Scottish Rite flag on the moon, that's such a stupid thing. I don't think you're allowed to fake that. I think if that's important to you, that the Scottish Rite flag has to be on the moon, you have to really do that. Or
there's a Masonic lodge for the moon. Yeah.
Say it again?
There's a Masonic lodge for the moon.
Yeah, I think they went, but I think they're not. And Charles Hall's Tall White story, he has a story about how the same time as people go to the moon, the tall whites and generals were just flying around, watching it in a much nicer Tic Tac ship. And then he said they saw him land and the generals were rolling around laughing on the ground because they couldn't believe what they just did. It actually made me have pure hatred for the Pentagon when I heard this story. Oh, how much they enjoyed.
There's a lot that says there were moon missions before the one that we know as well.
Yeah, I bet there fucking was. And plus now they're dicking around with time and shit. I'll bet they could go back and do whatever now. I don't think it's changed time, but I bet you if I get everybody's attention, because here's, I think you're a projector and a viewer. And so when they do these high magic, you called it apotheum when you get reality warping.
Oh, yeah.
So if I could chain you like a peer-to-peer server, if you're playing a game, like, some MMO games, they either have a server if they spent the money on it, or to be cheaper, they use your machine and link it to the other machines to help create the game world, right? So you take a bunch of people and just focus all their attention on a thing, and I think you can get a nice reality warping power, like a high magic ritual, I would call it.
There's deals. I mean, there are deals about the moon missions that, there's no question that they lost the technology, they lost the films. It's a black project after the fact.
Where did they lose it to? Like some rich guy? Remember that guy wanted to have the nukes, he went to Truman or somebody and said, I should be in charge of the nukes.
It couldn't be on the record. So my answer for you, 2 minutes or less on the moon thing, is Lloyd Berkner. This is the key. That's why I did a documentary on him. All I can tell you about Lloyd Berkner is he's the one who organized the moon mission and the mission to Mars, which was supposed to come 4 years later.
That's right.
Not many years later, 4. And he worked with Kennedy on the "We're going to the moon" speech, but he was in charge of the early Robertson UFO panel. He's the guy who went to Antarctica with Byrd. He's the left out scientist in the whole equation. And when they've gone into the various backgrounds on the UFO file, the person who keeps showing up in the kind of like MJ12 variety is Lloyd Berkner. And Berkner is that scientist in the core middle. He's actually the guy that Kennedy is going to meet at the Trade Mart as he is about to be assassinated there. Before he gets to the Trade Mart, he gets assassinated. And in the middle of that, the whole thing about the speech, and the speech disappears and shows back up in 1969. Very odd. So Berkner, the man in the middle, scientifically, there was a move there to say we can go to the moon and go to Mars. And then there was, no, we need this kind of pageantry about it. And we need it filmed, and we need this whole thing about it. And if, in case things go wrong, of course, they had that planned out. And we hear about that.
Yes,
here's,
right.
Yeah. Here's the speech if things went wrong, and we had to read the kind of funeral speech for the astronauts. Problem is, when you look at it in terms of the actual technology, there's the missing gap of the technology. They felt if they kept doing this from 69 to 72, going to the moon and back, that basically everyone was going to have the technology that they had going there. This is the rub that's in the middle. There's a technology curve that gets missed, and that's the thing that goes under from 72 until SpaceX.
And it's connected to scalar weaponry and
okay.
Yeah.
One quick thing I want to ask you about Colonel Corso, because you made me laugh talking about how what'd you say, charisma challenged or something?
Dude, I'm reading Days After Roswell right now. That's
okay. I watched that asshole in an interview, and this is where I'm like, fuck the whole government forever for this. He said they offered, to not have diseases or anything no more, but the president thought it would screw up the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah.
Corso said that. I watched him say it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God you thought of the pharmaceutical industry. Yeah. Eyes and Horse or what a great.
That book opens with them shooting a fucking gray in the back, like as he's.
And I don't see him going.
Yet I want to say this about Corso. If you go back and look at where he was and what he was doing, he was everywhere that he said he was. So he's not somebody.
I think he knows something for sure. I don't think he's. What I'm wondering is why some people get to say things and some don't.
Yeah.
Like some people you don't ever hear their name again, and also because of stuff that Nathan talks about from being in the Reynolds family. Site 6, Lake Havasu, it used to be called Site 6. You know this story? And the guy that built Lake Havasu and transferred the London Bridge, and they say that they're a sovereign like the city of London, Lake Havasu. And he talks about his Knights of Columbus.
London, obviously, but
that bridge, they buried people in that bridge. Immurement, it's called, because he wanted a negatively charged object because they're all warlocks and shit. And what happened? He said his family initially, not the serpent mounds, but the mounds they would explore, just like Joseph Smith. And they got in touch with something like some kind of they call it Nahash, which I guess is the serpent from Eden.
Yeah.
And Nahash is a separate creature from Azazel, and also from Hillel ben Shahar, which is who Lucifer is actually supposed to be. Lucifer is some King James bullshit rendering where they throw that name in. There's a Saint Lucifer, you know that, of Cagliari? There's
interesting.
And when the Arians, Arian, when they had the fight of the nature of Christ, and the Arians were like, well, you think he's God's son and not actual God. And this guy, Lucifer of Cagliari, didn't want to forgive them when they repented or whatever. And so he was bad then. And I'm like, is this a smear job of, but in Sardinia, they call him St. Lucifer of So at some point, the name Lucifer was not bad at all, clearly, if you're naming a bishop that, right?
Well,
in the 3rd century, I want to
say. Lucifer actually has an incarnation here, 3000 BC. And all of the schools and the monasteries are aware, oh my God, Lucifer is physically incarnate. Watch out.
Did they say who he's incarnate as?
The only thing that he would let out is that it happened in Asia. Steiner can't let more than that out.
So the guy that founded Baha'is, and I don't remember where the hell I was watching this.
Oh, yeah.
The Bob or whatever the hell he was, and one of the, was it the Saud family? They were saying this guy is the Antichrist for sure. Which I was like, that's the story of the Baha'i guy? That bunch of, but those are like those Freemason Muslims.
Yeah. I've got a good Baha'i story for you. Just briefly, someone told me, my aunt was really super into Baha'i and she wants to make sure you have these books. She's ill now. And I said, I would love to have the books and thank you. I don't really ascribe much to it, but I'm interested in Baha'i. And so basically what I got could fill the back of a UPS truck. I mean, it was huge. And there are people who are so deep into that. And
Rainn Wilson from the Office is deep into that.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah.
This is part of the explosion in the 19th century of this coming out. And the question is, why does everything explode there in the 19th century? That's where you've got the War of the Mystery Schools versus scientific materialism. The two are coming out and competing with each other.
Right. Who pushed that forward the most? Because for some reason, I might have got this from some LaRouchers, but the Descartes or somebody who was behind where like the Jesuits are going, we're going to separate science, and like they came up with that for some reason to keep something hidden, and there's like some little war going on among, like,
it comes out of Germany. It's scientific materialism from. It wasn't scientific materialism before this. So from 1840 to 1845, they adopt it, and that is anything that can't be weighed or seen, it doesn't exist. And this became the dominant thing. That's where the whole flow of culture and the whole flow of Darwinism and everything comes through this period. And when you get into a deep period like that, the churches themselves with the mystery schools, who were kind of standoffish, they got together and said, we also don't want the scientific thing taking over. We'll also help you with this. So the schools had support on doing this. The problem is, according to, Blavatsky and Steiner, if you get into that, what they say, and there's a fantastic book called The Transcendental Universe, which is just that big, and it's a very unusual book, but it's like being in the frontline news reporter to the War of the Mystery Schools from about 1870 to about 1893. And it is remarkable. The thing is, what it tells you is they were battling for the narrative, including, should we bring reincarnation out? Should we leave it behind the walls? And when they brought it out, they try to put it back in and cork it back up and say, no, let's not include that. And then also with the afterlife and Summerland. And they had a number of individuals like the Fox sisters and the Poughkeepsie Seer, and they're giving them this information. They're giving them access to these higher spiritual channels. So the information is flowing out into society. Like I said, it got to the presidential level when you're, in the Lincoln period, and there's a real craze there. And the Ouija board and all that stuff comes out of that. So you are getting, along with, they bring in yoga, they bring in psychic experience, afterlife. All of a sudden, that stuff springs out of nowhere almost. But it is rampant throughout society. So by the time you get to actually 1900, you're heading into the World War period, and you've got this massive psychic explosion of information.
It's almost like the Beatles invasion a little bit.
It is. So yeah,
it's a lot of British, because these are all Anglicans doing this. It's in the Tragedy and Hope book about getting America back, which they did. But okay, so what Nathan was talking about, his family followed Nahash. So I didn't understand, dude, all these things, and I mean, it sounds crazy, but like they're all dragons. They're all like either a winged serpent or a flaming serpent.
Yeah.
If you read Gary Wayne's book, or people say it's a seraphim or serpent faced, I guess. I don't know. The flaming when Moses and they get bit by flaming serpents from Yahweh, and then they have to look at the copper pole with the snake on it to heal. Seraphim are lizard faced. So one day I watched the last interview Nathan Reynolds at Merkel did, back to back, with Alandra Markman on Emma's podcast. Emma's got an Imagination podcast, great podcast. She's been kicked off YouTube. It's all MK Monarch Vic. Now, some people are crazy, some people are lying, but a few of them have some things you should hear.
That's like the secret space program.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And Daryl James, I would say go look at Daryl James. And my whole thing is I don't believe nothing. I just want you to not make me bored with your story. So if you get too new agey, I start to get bored. Yeah. If I hear the same thing too much, I'm bored. I want to hear a new thing I ain't heard before. And Daryl James' story was so bizarre. It, of course, involved Michael Aquino, that old fucking.
Oh, that guy, man. The best eyebrows in the game.
I think he's a boy from Brazil or something. That's what I think now.
No question.
Nobody knows who his fucking dad is. And his mom's the first gay kid. What?
Killing person. Yeah, somebody brought up the Epstein Nick Bryant Foundation in the chat, which you guys should donate to. But yeah, Michael Aquino is all involved in the friend, who took Johnny, the Johnny Gosh stuff.
Dude, Andy Hunt. Go on, Control Alt History. Excellent channel. This dude, Andy Hunt. He's got because there's just a really into history from 40 to 30 years ago where he has a huge collection of hustlers, but he has all this stuff that Larry Flint found.
Oh yeah.
Larry Flint figures in the craziest way, and there's all these guys that are Epstein's. There's the Playboy guy, and there's Bob Guccione, and there's that other guy, Barry Kornfeld, that nobody remembers. But it's all these guys that have 70 girlfriends, and you can come to their house and bang. And it probably wasn't out of the goodness of their hearts they were doing that, it turns out.
Yeah. They weren't just helping a brother out, man.
Let me just read these super chats real quick because we almost got to go. Mark, will you throw up the super chats? Have you seen the subreddit called Mall World? I have seen that, but I haven't. I used to have these terrible nightmares as a kid. I saw in the last one with where it would be like the hag. I think it's Agrat Bat Mahalat was the name of the thing that was coming to get me all the time. But when I just saw weapons recently, it's like every primal fear I had as a child. Dude, I used to be so terrorized in my dreams, I'd lucid dream and I'd start flying away.
This with weapons. The only thing I didn't really understand, and I know this is was just the AK-47 over the house, the actual weapon at the end of it. I was like, I know that they're using these kids as weapons.
It was a dream.
I know it was a dream, but that's not. Did it mean anything else like that AK-47?
It was a little bit on the nose.
A little bit on the nose, man. I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like that movie was better than that. That's my only problem with that one part of it.
It's the white man's Get Out, is what I call it. That's why they took their man.
Josh,
we got Sydney Sweeney's fat tits, the white man's Get Out, and then they had to get revenge with the Cracker Barrel honky being removed.
That's worse than any Confederate.
One thing you mentioned Charles Hall there.
Yes.
Back a ways. I will say this about Charles Hall. The way that he describes the story of being kind of the mail runner at Area 51, and they just drop him in with these tall whites. They don't
the weather
set him up
balloon
for
guy.
it. Yeah. So putting him in a spot like that is exactly the kind of military experiment that they would pull. And they might pull them to say, how does this guy react? No training. How do you react to tall whites? They look a lot like us, but they're not quite us.
Right.
I tracked back a whole history of the Cosmos Club. And the Cosmos Club, the guy who actually founded it was from Cape Girardeau.
Okay.
And Cape Girardeau is also where they had the first major crash in 41 with bodies and all that kind of stuff. Pre-Roswell. But this guy, Powell, is from 1860s, 1870s. Out of nowhere, in the middle of nothing, he suddenly becomes the darling of Washington to do all these explorations. After he's gone to the Grand Canyon and looked for these various things, made various discoveries, got in touch with the Paiute Indians, who are a magical sect. All of a sudden, Toast of Washington, millions of dollars, Cosmos Club becomes the biggest thing anywhere. All the major VPs, presidential people, everyone are in with the Cosmos Club, all the major scientific voices. Now, it's very interesting because if he found something back there, and later, by the way, it becomes the kind of UFO Bilderberg, where, if, Hynek and all those people, Carl Sagan, they become magnets to the Cosmos Club. And I've spoken to people off the record who were involved with the Cosmos Club about the amount of UFO initiation in terms of knowledge that goes on in there. And that's right in the heart of Washington, D.C. It is this kind of center cornerstone. But if they found something, we think about, UFO redevelopment and UFO crash and doing the technology over again. If they found it back there in 1860 with Powell and founded the Cosmos Club, then this gives us a much better curve to understand and identify it instead of just thinking, UFOs showed up in 1947.
Oh, so no, it goes back way.
Yeah.
There's a general who had a story of tall whites. You remember that? I can't remember when, the 1800s, but he's on some road and these tall whites come and they tried to pick him up, but they couldn't.
Yes.
And he was he described it, Charles Hall.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's not the Nordics.
Right, yeah.
I think the Nordics are German and not Nordic, by the way.
Yeah. But the Nordics were 1400s in Italy? That was the first. I think Richard Dolan was talking about it.
Oh, well, the Nordics, you have an entire history of them as the major contact group. And it's weird because everywhere that they happened, when they came up with the Billy Meyer story later, which was easily to discredit, all around him were the stories about it. So it's almost like they synthesized the stuff and put it through him. But the actual stories of people having it, all the Hills people out there in Switzerland, in the various villages and places, there were tons of stories about the Nordics contacting them and being like, we want to give your culture higher technology. And so it's a major theme in the heart of it. The Nordics, in fact, it's only the Greys that have a bigger profile in terms of a type And the problem with the Nordics, apparently, from that point of view, is that they look so much like us that it's easy for them to pass in the halls of government and other places.
Scotty No Leg says, long list of great channel referrals. My mom had the orb thing happen to her. Whoa, she was also drunk. Hey, does your mom have low iron? Because my girl's cold all the time. She don't have a lot of iron in her blood. That's what that means. And I heard that these things don't like too much iron. Don't know if that's true, but people who study fairy crap in England, and England is full of that crap.
There's certainly a physical type, no question. Yeah.
Yeah, my girl got blue eyes. There's some kind of thing. Everything's a goddamn eugenics thing. It's just like I view the moon landing as the Olympics. It's like, why did you need to do it? You went there once and put your flag and didn't go back. It sounds like we won the medal one year. Why?
Kurt,
why
when you see something like the classic story, like the Betty and Barney Hill story, just like what do you think?
I think that that's a clear example of the space Germans trying to figure out how a different race couple are they? Like these advanced aliens are like bewildered, like it's so there,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And also the amount of crap, like what Nathan was talking about, and watch that last Merkel one he was on, because here's a couple of crazy things he describes. One, he describes seeing Ophites, or he called them Ophites, but Ophite, that serpent worshipping Gnostic cult.
Oh, yes.
Ophite. Yes. He said, I've never seen anything like these Ophite. They would take snake skin and like wrap it around their arms and flesh, and it would like meld into their flesh because it was wrapped. Like they had all this snake shit skin wrapped around that was like fused into their skin.
Oh,
wow. And he was talking about Nahash, like, he's hardcore. He's Christian, like somebody that used to have a meth problem becomes Christian, where they like, they're like, I need to be saved.
They need this shit.
But I love this guy. I'll tell you why. There's a book called The Gospel to All Creatures, Hope for Hybrids, Clones. Somebody wrote a book that sounds like it's out of a movie about how even you, a freak half lizard person, deserve to hear the gospel. Now, for someone to take the time to write that, and Nathan reads it on YouTube, you hear him reading it? Like, that is such a sincerely Christian thing to do.
Oh,
okay?
Wow.
That it gives me a lot of affection automatically for him. But anyway, Knights of Columbus grandfather, his dad is from the Brotherhood of the Snake or the Serpent or something. His mom's side of the family is Jesuit boy breakers, I guess is how I would put it. And Lake Havasu is a place for old perverts to go to relax and have kids. They've got, and he describes all the stuff there, and it sounds creepy as hell. It's on something called Site 6, and that's where supposedly he said people, I guess Air Force, it was an Air Force thing. It's always Air Force.
Is that connected with the Nathan Reynolds stuff or not?
Yes, that's where I heard from.
Okay.
He said that they have deep underneath that hotel. He goes, because these things have ambassadors, and so they, like, the reason we have this, the internet and stuff, is like the principalities gate. This is a show stone I'm talking to you on, right? Like a black screen that John D would use. We have show stones.
Yes.
They stare into all day. I do.
Yes.
So
yes.
He said he went down. There's a throne that was made out of some black rock that he names like 20 kinds of rocks he's into. He's a real smart dude. And it was pitch black. He doesn't know what kind of stone it was, with little gold, whatever inlay. And the serpent thing, they were getting it's like venom leaking out of this thing that they're collecting in bowls, and he had to drink it as a kid so he could understand the tongue of Nahash. Then he was in a ritual, he said, okay, where he's laying, where they made like a Flatliners movie where they make you cold.
Yeah.
With the Frighteners, Michael J. Fox. So they pioneered that in Phoenix. Basically, he was sent to astral project. He was killed, but like, that where they make you dead so you can go astral. So he said one big thing came in, and he goes, it wasn't human. It was big. It was covered in blood. It looked like 5 buckets of blood this guy was covered in, whatever this dude was, and it stood at his head. Another one of the same thing comes in. He said it was sapphire blue because it had no blood. It was like not charged.
Yeah.
Because they got to charge with your fluids. That's what all the fluid shit's about. But the uncharged one went to his feet, and they chilled him down and stopped his heart so he could go talk to Apollo. And he goes, people think the Antichrist and Apollo is going to be the dragon's rep on Earth. He said that's their plan. And so first he goes down there. He said it was like devoid of any joy, love, anything. It was almost like a kind of silence. The way he describes it's really weird. And there's this vast like lake of like chaos that he couldn't cross. and a fucking white and black dragon thing, like flying serpent thing. The black one was talking in a language that sounded like gibberish, and the white one could speak English. Now that sounds funny too, by the way, as I'm saying it out loud. Oh, you couldn't understand the black one? Anyway, the white one gave him some kind of gold egg thing that he had to eat, and then he could understand this tongue of Nahash. And they transported him so he could meet with Apollo. And he said Apollo is just a man, like a little taller, but he's just a man. He wasn't even dressed up in any regalia. He was just a man that became something different. That's how he put it. And Apollo gave him a list of names of people to kill and do whatever with. And dude, the stories, like his stories are so wild.
I just try to hear a drug ceremony.
What?
Is there a drug aspect to the ceremony?
Oh yeah, he drank like venom out of these things, but they're all to the creepiest thing. And Gary Wayne said this as a kind of a good point. You know, dinosaurs have feathers, right? Like a Quetzalcoatl, like a winged serpent.
Yes.
Yeah, and so anyway, later I'm looking into Tracy Twyman's. Tracy Twyman.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ooh, her stuff is. That's one of the creepiest stories I've ever.
She died under very strange circumstances.
Yeah, well, she was fucking around with stuff that, like, it almost like a computer programmer, blasé, about talking to Baphomet, who, by the way, is some kind of hermaphrodite. So, okay, after I see this thing where her talking about that, all these things are some kind of serpent. It's just at the end of the day, they're all some kind of dino serpent. And if you listen to Orlando Markman, his version's all alien, the Draco, but it's all the same shit. It's just different names for the same shit.
Yeah.
And then I watch a thing about Komodo dragons and snakes. Okay, which, dude, I'll send you. I think I sent you a link to it, but if I haven't, I will. Let me just tell you what the name of it is because I want people to watch it.
Yeah.
Because this.
Yeah.
So, did you know Komodo dragons? Let me tell you the guy's channel. Clint's Reptiles. Komodo dragons aren't giants; they're dwarfs. So you know, a little bit like island dwarfism. Komodo should be much, much bigger.
Interesting.
And certain snakes, not all of them, but like a lot of pythons that we got like Greek names and shit. They can do parthenogenesis, virgin birth. If there's no sexual partner, they can do a virgin birth.
Wow.
The snakes can only give birth to a female, like a clone, but a Komodo dragon can give birth to a perfect male specimen of a Komodo. Not all the Komodo dragons, just special Komodo dragons.
All right. Yeah.
With no sexual mate can give birth to a perfect male Komodo dragon. It's such a bizarre thing that I have never. And I'm like, I'm starting to see these themes pile up, dude.
Well,
like they're piling up a lot.
What about Leviathan and Lovecraft? The whole piece is something deep, right? I mean, that's also Arthurian, slaying the dragon. And
he's a Pendragon. So
Saint Michael and the dragon. Yes, it is. So the dragon he's kind of like the evil opposite of Kundalini, if you think about it.
Yeah, he is. And he said that when he saw, so anyway, Nahash was the one they worship, but I guess Azazel, he thinks it is like the main Satan, Satan's a position. It's not a guy. It's like your job, I guess. But he said, as a little kid, it came as a man to him, and his family's familiar spirit was death. Who's the death Egypt god? Not Osiris.
Osiris.
Yes.
Set.
I know.
Osiris.
Yeah, and that was his familiar
Osiris.
Death itself.
Yeah.
He said he never spoke to death. He spoke to representatives of death in this deep occult family he was in. But then like Satan came as a man and treated him like, you're really special, and drew his name, and I'm going to complete your circle, and you're going to work for me. And then he saw him he said it looked like a Komodo. He said name 3 times the lizards that look like all together in one. Like a proto parent of every reptile you've ever seen. Wow. And he said he had lust because of how beautiful it had hexagonal, like you'd see on a heat shield on a shuttle, that it could like reflect and be invisible and shit. And its voice sounded like music. What he describes is so wild. And so, it's not a thing I just believe, but I listen to a lot of stories and I just try to pick out, like Tracy Twyman does it she was doing it really well, where I'm like, oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
But good luck finding her stuff.
Yeah. She got so into the royals on such a deep level that I think she became a target. And
well, that's who it is.
Yeah.
Remarkable. What do you think, like, to a person that does not believe in UFOs, and I have a UFO, UAP podcast, whatever you want to call it, but if you guys, you gotta what's the craziest thing to a normie that you believe that you would stand on 100%?
The vaccine wasn't good. The vaccine was a mental experiment, and that alone should make you never believe in America.
But I feel like that wouldn't be crazy.
The human hybrid part, where they use human genetics and harvest them and mix them with alien DNA and create a hybrid, is probably the most extreme thing for a normal person to understand. And yet, it is a remarkable signature of how many cases. So when John Mack was around,
love John Mack, Believer. I just read Believer, great.
When I spent time with him, he was like, "There's something wrong with the way we look at UFO cases, because they're going through things when they're getting abducted. So they're going through walls, they're going through ceilings, going up into things. So that's different. That's a whole distortion of regular reality physics. That's not a ship with higher technology comes and gets you. It gets you through things. So, there's a whole level of physics that gets thrown out the window and adopted. This is interesting to me because that's what it really gets down to. And if you get into that, the whole piece about missing time is also a distortion of physics. So when you get around the UFO file, it's distortion of physics. And but to answer your question, really, if you think about it, the hybrid thing is probably what people would have the deepest trouble with. And yet it is the hallmark of probably over half of the contactee cases.
It's the reason for royalty itself and your Bible. Every single thing comes back to some much longer lived creatures engaging in a cross between bestiality and pedophilia. That would it be for an angel to do something with an immortal creature? Think of like Twilight, where the vampire's 800, but he's in school.
Yeah, he's
like, what is this?
He's like Drew Barrymore
and perversion on a level you can't believe, like a child species that is also an animal.
Well,
it's the darkest kind of thing.
Yeah, if we could do a whole show sometime on the temple legend, because the problem with the whole human race, according to that legend, really is you have a Nephilim who shows up and associates with Eve, and then you have Jehovah makes Adam. That's where the split and the problem happens.
That's the story. I thought the story is Eve comes out of Adam's rib, and perhaps they broke in half evenly, but they lowered her to the rib.
That's the biblical story, but the temple legend is
which one is that?
There's a Nephilim with Eve, and that's the Masonic temple legend with Hiram Abiff and Solomon.
Right, they're the sons. They're the serpent race, and I saw that John Lear. His name John Lear, old man that knew Lazar.
Yeah, John Lear.
Dude, I saw a wacky interview with him one time where he said,
he's going crazy with the church.
Okay, but here's some interesting things he said that I just kept in the back of my head because I hadn't heard him. One, he said the sun's not hot; it's all like electromagnetic something. It's not actually hot. If you're on the moon, the sky's yellow during the day. It's not like what they show you. He said and this is the thing that set me off on a whole other quest to find what this was. He said the entire solar system is under control of the serpent race. Now, I'd never heard of the serpent race. I'm like, is that lizard people? What do you mean? No, nothing further. Oh, the serpent race. You know what the serpent race is? That's what the fucking Freemasons call it. All these secret society people are the sons of Cain. Yes. And that through line goes through everything. And they believe, so the Ophites or Ophites that Nathan Zay saw, their whole thing is the serpent's the good guy and this and that. But I think the serpent hates you. I think it literally, like, one, there's clearly a bunch of people that think that he's, because is that guy the guy from the South Africa school, the one you guys were just talking about?
The South
Africa. Zimbabwe? That UFO that landed and told the kids not to pollute.
Oh, yeah. That is a case. He's actually he was in Harvard first. He was the professor here. Then he got into trouble examining the UFO cases. Then he went to South Africa. And that case from 1994, all the kids described the landing at the school. And he talked to them individually, and they all drew the same thing. One of them drew a gray with wavy hair. And that, what I think is very interesting, is right in the middle of all that, there's this weird picture of a gray, but it has all this wavy hair. Now, that's pretty unusual because, they don't have any hair.
Well, there's a guy, dude, remember you know what that reminds me of? The one in, this is really bizarre. You know, famous, it's like a haunted something in England. And there's a story. They were attacked by like dwarven ninjas for a time, is the story. The guy that that seance they did, it's very famous in England, where they were the Psychical Research Society did these dancers. Yeah. Okay, so that guy, I'm forgetting his name. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna get him on one day. But anyway, some kids are doing a karate class in the sunshine, right? And all of a sudden, ninjas. I mean, they're little midget ninjas. I guess they didn't take their masks off. They come out and start attacking the kids that are doing a karate match, and start fighting them and attacking. Not only that, adults, everyone there, adults start fighting each other. Never mind the midget ninjas. The karate instructor was found trying to drown himself in 2 inches of water in a bird bath.
What the fuck?
Well, I mean, I'm getting like psychotronic weapon vibes from that a little bit, but I don't know. Yeah. It just sounds very strange, and it sounds like these always sound like someone's testing something out on somebody, because you could do things with tone and harmonics to people that are wild, and they've certainly experimented to see what they can do. That the thing that I'm suspicious of is when the aliens have Greta Thunberg talk. I'm looking at all these alien things, trying to find out about the tall whites racisms, because Charles Hall made me laugh.
Oh yeah.
They look at us like we're strong as gorillas compared to them, and I'm like, I think I've heard this before. There's like taller, whiter things in charge of the universe.
The only thing, I think it is interesting that he says they're fragile. That makes some sense to me, and also that
they're not here to save the whales. Is another point.
Yeah, that they're from the stars and all that. And yet, if you thought about it, if we encountered a culture here, say they were underground and they were very advanced, they'd want to kind of disguise where they were from, one, and two,
of course,
we would be after their technology if they were advanced. So that whole cover story of them coming here off planet, by the way, I mean, it could be an off-world phenomena, but I think this needs to be considered, because why should they necessarily tell us where they're from? Everything seems to be subterfuge, including making people forget the experience, right?
Yo, you should watch Nicholas, the other one. He disappeared, but I found out he's fine. He was on Emma's show, Niklas, because for some reason, his story, I don't know why that resonated with me so much. It's crazy also, but it's very interesting.
He had an encounter.
What'd you say?
He had an encounter?
Oh, dude, he was a monarch as a kid in Germany.
Yeah. Yes.
And what he describes is wild. And he describes being forced to but he was describing the toroid that surrounds you and how your own EM feel. He has a lot of very interesting things that he was talking about.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's why I like to hear all the shit you got is so great. And then I want to hear people's testimonies and I want to compare them.
Absolutely.
Because what I notice is this bizarre overlap between UFOs and satanic ritual abuse, which I didn't see that coming. I don't know. And it overlaps in such a strange way where it's like I'm in a focus group. Like I made a joke, like Disney bought reality and they're workshopping which ending you like better. Do you like it to be an angel thing or be a spaceman thing?
Oh yeah.
But they do the same things. It'll be what happens. You get kidnapped out of your bed. You wake up on a table. They do. I mean,
right now, Congress and Luna and Burleson are saying, "Hey, it's fallen angels. The fallen angels are after you."
That's out of that Final Events book, dude.
Yeah.
You read that? The Redford one?
Yes.
So Jazz Jabroni's always talking about, these fundamentalist Christians shouldn't. Hey, Jason, those are not Christians. Number one, the Collins elite. They're called the Collins elite.
The Collins
elite.
Those
are Christians. Yes. I think they're witch people myself. Mm-hmm. Two, their story of they thought they were aliens and they're trying to see if they could do assassinations with the aliens. You're not Christians, you assholes. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Then they discover that they're bad demons and that we all have to follow the Torah.
Yeah.
Fuck the Collins elite. But you know what?
Very interesting. Yeah.
That came out in when? 2007.
That's Nick Redfern's book.
George W. Bush year. So all those assholes that are in power now,
and
they all think there's a thing called Judeo-Christian values, which there is not. That's a made-up term. There's Abrahamic. Judeo-Christian's a marketing term that makes no sense. There's no reason a Christian would have to give a shit about the fucking Torah. The whole point of Jesus is you don't have to do that. Okay, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Hey, maybe a Christian's wrong, but if you're going to tell me the lore that you say you're in, I expect you to stay in lore. And when you don't, then I think you're yanking my chain a little bit.
Well, what era are we in where Congress people come forward and suddenly they're like, hey, we're the UFO ambassadors. We believe in this. We're going to bring it forward. And now,
out of their control.
Yeah. And they've studied it out. All of a sudden, right? A number of Congress people. I have 39 different people in the Senate and Congress that I've listed who've come out and spoken openly and promoting UAP and all the rest of that. Where are they getting this whisper in the background that's saying UAP, the cash train is coming, just go out there and say it? And now, like I said, we have Luna.
You think they're monarchs? Because a bunch of these people are, what, you're not supposed to have hot, like young, hot leader. What the fuck is that? Like this Krav Maga Mamdani in New York, everybody gets upset about him because he's so. You don't see another AOC level phony that's completely astroturfed on every level.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, absolutely.
And you're like, oh, Andrew Cuomo. Why is Andrew Cuomo still around? What is going on?
I mean, Cuomo's horrendous. I don't know. I think jury's not out on this guy. But one thing I wanted to ask both of you guys is, this is the craziest thing that was publicly said by the most legit person, I think, in the last year, is Dr. Eric Davis at that, Arrow, whatever, press conference, coming out and saying that there were 4 different extraterrestrial species. And then there was no follow-up. But if you know anything about his work, he was inside. You know what I mean? I mean, he is the epitome of fucking inside.
He was. I mean, but he works also for Radiance Technologies. So he's like a government guy and a corporate guy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting with Davis. I do believe he's been exposed to some things, but I also think that they can tell him things about what he's exposed to. Yeah. So it becomes tricky. I will say this, that Bob Dean, who, he's somebody who was around since the 60s and was in the Army, and he had gone over as part of NATO command. And over there, they gave him a briefing about how many different races there were. And he focused in on those 4. So this could be the same briefing that came up later with Davis. But I do think you're right that it's interesting that here he is, they're having this congressional session, and he's like, 4 different alien species. Well, it's interesting because they have Tim Colladette out there as a rear admiral, right? And he's all over the place right now. But he was sitting hand in glove with Elizondo, who's the biggest disinformation artist in the whole field. So how much stuff did Gallaudet, he has exposure because he was in the Navy. He has exposure to certain things. And then his brain is steered by Elizondo into their UFO threat version, keeping him away from the actual UFO file. And this is what people had a hard time with when I went after Elizondo and some of these characters and said, look, they're, counterintelligence agents. Hello. They would say, oh, you're blocking UFO disclosure. No, you just don't want CIA disclosure. You want the real thing.
You don't want an asymmetrical disclosure.
You don't need disclosure. Was everybody need a pat on their head in class? Don't wait for these assholes. The information, you could just get it.
Yes.
Nothing is secret. Here's the fucking scariest thing. This stuff is stuff you could just find on today's internet that has been scrubbed of many things. You could still just find all the shit if you feel like picking peanuts out of shit, which I do, because of the size of potatoes now. They're so easy to pick out. Something's happening where they're not in control. And I think from final events, I'm just a little wild theory, but something's coming together where they're not hitting whatever marks they were supposed to hit clearly. Okay?
Yeah.
And there's clearly 2 sides of deep state. The Trump side's going to let you, Sidney Sweeney, have more kids. There's the Trump side, the white square, he's jockeying. No, New World Order is going to go as planned. We're putting the Pike statue back up. Don't worry. The Albert Pike, that scumbag, the dumbass media is going to go, he was in the Klan, not even understanding what the significance of that is. But I understand the significance because I wrote for Trump he didn't use my jokes. He had better ones.
For the
Al Smith dinner.
Yes.
So the Al Smith dinner is a charity for Catholic orphans, which, by the
Governor
way,
Al Smith.
Don't sound good. But Trump's at it. And who's there but Eric Adams, who previously was in big trouble, as you recall, because he didn't want to put illegals up in the goddamn hotels anymore because it was destroying his city.
Right. Even he was like, forget it. I'm not going to be.
And he's a corrupt motherfucker, hands down, 100% corrupt. He's known, Ben Kissel will tell you all about it, dude. Ben was going to run for mayor. He knows all about this scumbag. But anyway, suddenly he's in trouble for taking Turkish bribes, which Lord knows what that means. But anyway, then the newspaper, the Daily News, I want to say, or the Post, they announced that he just hit the 33rd degree of Freemasonry, which I found bizarre because isn't that going to cause conspiracy theories, the thing we hate the most? Why would you announce this guy's 33rd degree? Mm-hmm. Is it to fuck with him? Or is it to send out a thing like
they want?
I have no idea. It maybe depends on if it's the new Daily News or the Post.
That's real steganography. You tripped right into it. That's steganography on blast.
Yes, and the next thing, dude, what do I see? He says to Eric Adams, like he said to Arpaio many years ago, I think you're going to be all right. And he is. He is all right.
Oh, well.
So, yeah.
I wish he had
so,
used your jokes.
Dude, my jokes are becoming like prophecies. I don't understand why. Not just mine. Stupid jokes, like, not stupid jokes I like that people have that I remember. They're mostly noticing a problem in the construct kind of jokes, you know?
Yeah.
As you know, like Nadam used to have a funny thing about when they advertise pharmaceutical drugs that prescription. He goes, shouldn't the doctor say something too? Like I should ask him.
Yeah.
Look, I can't help you. What about Prilosec? Oh, how about your doctor? The commercials say how much to take. That's really, insane that's the thing.
It is so true. It's just them giving you. There's no advice. It's just them giving you the name of a drug.
Oh, we have to call it UAP now instead of UFO.
Oh,
Why?
Yeah.
Well, they have their reason because they can go underwater too. Okay. But I think it's the reason they say collusion during Russiagate instead of conspiracy. Because remember when Trump had colluded with Russia to blah, blah, blah. Remember every moron liberal you knew in New York thought that stupid shit? Like the infant fucking smuggerant hicks they are now. They never say the crime would be conspiracy. There's no crime called collusion. Conspiracy. But they can't say conspiracy because they crap that word up after they killed Kennedy.
Yeah.
So now they had to come up with a separate word for the conspiracy theory they had about Trump and Russia, which was collusion. And that's what UAP is.
Kurt, you conspiracy theorist, you.
Yeah, UFO, crapped up, right? We're rebranding UFOs to UAPs. Yeah. I'm so sick of it,
How about the homeland?
What? The homeland
instead of the United States of America. Homeland Security. It's Homeland. If you lead the NORAD briefings, it's Homeland. Well, Homeland doesn't have a constitution. The United States does. Homeland.
Yeah.
Who the hell even knows what Homeland is? So, I'm going to hire 250,000 people to defend the Homeland.
Yeah, like it's a very strange, the land of the plumed serpent. Oh, it's the other thing Nathan told me. America Vespucci didn't. He changed his name to reflect America already being called that because Amaru. David Icke, if you recall, remember David Icke got his vision?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's still around.
One, I think two things. Now, this is just what I think from watching him because I like a lot of his stuff, but then some of them I'm like, But his story is he won that show and said he was Jesus because I think he was undergoing Kundalini psychosis. You know what that is?
Well, I mean, you can take a guess from putting the two together.
Okay, I'd never heard of it, but my girlfriend's friend, who now became hardcore born again Christian, was a Reiki person.
Oh yeah,
and she got up to the top thing in her top chakra, whatever.
Yeah.
And she lost it. She said she started seeing people were demons, some of them.
Oh yes,
and it made her, and she became Christian. It frightened the shit. So I looked this up. There's a thing called Kundalini. There's one that sounds nicer, but Kundalini psychosis is a common thing. When I was working for Chris Rock on this movie that he's putting out of Another Round. It's a remake of the one with Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh yeah, that's supposed to be great. That movie.
It was a great time working on it with that. It was just punching up. It's just all these funny dudes, dude. But anyway, the one guy was driving back to my hotel. I asked him because I blather about this for a while when I talk to people, and he goes, "Yeah, I know what that is. It happened to me." He apparently when he was 30, confronted his aunt about his cousin having done some horrible molestation to him. And he yelled at her and got this off his chest, and he stayed awake for 3 days after that because I think he blew his top chakra from the trauma leaving.
Wow.
He knew exactly what I was describing.
Yeah,
and this happened. So
accidental rising of the Kundalini there.
I bet you Ike had that, and then
this is what they teach, though, because if you're in deep yogic schools, it's rising up through the energy centers, making it to the third eye. You're spiritually open. But if you do that, if you open the Kundalini centers before you're ready or before you're protected, then you're open to anything and everything. And that's what you're talking about.
I never heard of it before.
That's Kundalini psychosis?
Yeah, Google it. It's called, but there's another name too, Kundalini.
So it's when you're too open to knowledge, essentially?
Dude, people have to have their shit shut down just to get by. And never mind seeing demons. How about a literal genocide just happened in broad daylight in Gaza that
actually it's still happening.
Dan knows. I'm sure Daniel knows. Jimmy knows. I know because I have to cover the news. But a bunch of people I know don't know. More than ever know, but they don't want to know. The people that don't. Like, I don't want to stay up. And same people who go, how could Germany do the Holocaust, are blinded to the thing happening right in broad daylight. So don't tell me
I was like that for a while though. I think you got to give people an off ramp. Like, and I've changed a lot. Like when I said, "Oh, this was all bullshit," the whole
I do. I don't cancel people. I still talk to all my friends.
I'm just saying, it's like I think it's now. I think the thing that people are wrestling with, and the thing I'm wrestling with, which you're probably wrestling with too, is like some of my greatest friends are Jewish, and I'm nervous they're going to be hurt by this at some point in the future because of this crazy fucking jingoistic Zionist state that has nothing to do with Jewish people. And
dude, I've been knee deep in curly ass Bible pussy for 20 years. You know.
Yeah.
So I know Jew shit.
I was a typical Democrat, you know, like, and I still have a lot of progressive FDR-ish values, but it's different now. It's like I have to fucking to quote our CIA Senator Alyssa Slotkin, call balls and strikes, you know.
Yeah, I just go by this. What's your philosophy? What eggs are you going to break to make your omelet? And tell me them ahead of time. I don't want it to be a surprise. And do you think that's a thing? You got to break some eggs to make an omelet? Because I think there's no omelet coming every time someone says that, and I think it's psychopathic. And I'm sick of this. Is that the hill you want to die on? You ever hear that? I heard it for 20 years, and I'll tell the truth whenever I fucking want. I don't got to save up political capital to do it. I ain't running for shit. If I think something's true and I'm wrong, I'm going to blurt it out. And maybe it'll be misinformation. And it might harm the thing. Good. Fuck you. I hope it harmed the infrastructure of your security that I blurted out what I think is true. Why is everybody going along? This whole thing could collapse. Everybody stops lying. And I don't mean, it's almost impossible. I mean, I would never lie unless I was sure it could get me out of serious trouble. but like just the way people go along to get along is so sickening. And after COVID, that should be the last time you ever trust these fuckers again.
Oh, yeah.
It's not time for Mark Maron to complain about the Austin comedy scene. I need to know if he got his booster, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and the thing is, don't trust them on Free Eye Atlas either.
What's that again?
Nonsense. The space threat of coming on in. Avi Loeb is saying,
Avi.
That's like Israeli a Muamua, man. It's coming.
Guy.
Yeah, Avi has been on our show, which is hilarious.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
We're starting up. Again, we'd love to have both of you. Kurt's coming on.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Avi is like next door to me. His physics lab is right here.
Oh, is he? Interesting guy. Totally nice guy. Totally friendly interactions with him, but there definitely does seem to be
a lot of Intel people are nice guys, and I don't hold it against.
He's out of Talpiot. I mean,
he's what?
He's directly out of Talpiot, which is basically the military intelligence out of Israel for a decade.
Oh yeah.
Israel DARPA.
Yeah.
Oy.
Yeah, and also, I mean, he came over here in 1983 to work on Star Wars. That's incredible. Can you imagine the knowledge this guy has?
Maybe it'll help with our Golden Dome prison that they're going to make for us.
Let's get the UFO defense grid up.
What do you think? All right, if you guys are at elevator pitch, what is actually happening right now? What would you fucking say?
They're losing control of the thing. That's what's happening. So you see a lot of panic moves. Things aren't going. I don't know why. I'm for it. I'm all about it, though. I love it. I hope it falls apart further, especially Ukraine. I mean, if you think of like top 10 disgusting things you've watched drag on, well, I've watched morons tell me that Ukraine's been winning this whole time.
That was for me. Honestly, I'll say about this as somebody who's like voted what left his whole life. The Ukraine thing was the first time I was like, no, I'm not going to fucking do the Lyndon Johnson thing where I just blindly support something where I know it's a losing effort and a bunch of innocent people are going to die. And I know that fucking like I don't have a fucking dog in this goddamn fight. And even the fucking most ruthless neocons know that because they're focused on China, So it's like,
they guys all ready for the next one,
Yeah. Absolutely.
I never want to hear about Uyghurs again. Also, by the way, the cruelty to the Uyghurs.
Yeah.
Oh, are those the Muslims you like? And they're having a hard time, are they? Shut the fuck, dude. Vivek Pastrami was on Jimmy's show and tried to talk Uyghur shit. I go, Vivek, and this is right if we had Finkelstein on explaining Gaza very clearly, the concentration camp. I go, how many Uyghurs are in those camps? He goes, 1 million. I go, there's 2 million in Gaza. He didn't want to talk anymore because it's like a phony.
Wow.
There's such phone. Oh, by the way, just I'll throw this out because we got to go. But it was a great. I'm so glad I had DJ on and Dan and Chloe.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on, Kurt.
Chloe took it well. She's a vampire.
Great.
I think.
Yeah, Chloe was fun too.
Yeah, we got to do news for women. She doesn't actually like news.
Your show with her, just being that thing is funny.
That's hers. Like, she made that up, and I asked to produce it.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. It just made me laugh because it's so funny to skim the news just for women.
It's a great theme. And Dan, with the Saint Germain part, watch out. The deeper you go, it's going to get interesting. That I can tell you.
Hey, what happens if you go back in time and kill your own grandpa? Anybody know?
I don't know, man. I'm just hoping
become immortal and without sin.
I'm going to recommend a book for you. Let's see if the camera can pick this up.
You could become a snake eating its tail, Dan. A snake blowing itself.
Saint Germain by Isabel Cooper Oakley, 1913. That's the one.
Wait, Count de Saint Germain, Isabel Cooper Oakley. Okay,
this is the one. And from back there when it was like in the pocket, 1913. You know.
All right. Well, I'm gonna fucking check it out, man. And thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, thanks. That was great.
Should I do my plugs? Should I do my fucking? Sorry. I have a podcast, Burbs Bros. It's just a UAP paranormal. People were asking about it in the chat, so I wanted to get that out there.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, man. Come on anytime you want to.
I appreciate it.
YouTube channel, find that. Instagram. I'm getting on the road. I have a live on my Instagram. It's got all my live dates and working on some shit with some fucking a cartoon with some soda and shit. And hopefully that happens. All right. I feel like I'm reading a fucking suicide note every time I do play.
I thought you were talking about your new crime thriller.
Yeah. It's like I just fucking hate it. I don't know how these guys can. I still don't know how they can do it. But thank you for
Mystery School. I don't know. All right, I'm out of time. Thanks to all my guests, and you just got derped, everybody. So you're welcome.
Kurt dropping truth bombs all